Okay, welcome back. If you haven't done it already, please refresh your stream so you have transcoding options. Apparently, they just took that shit away from us right in the middle of setting this up. So, hi, welcome to episode 34 of DieFall, The Aspects. How are you guys? Hey, we've been chatting for a little bit now. Rob, I stopped it for a second and did my nice little resub there, but I saw some issues with maybe one of the Ganons in a certain game, and how's it going, man?
I died a lot.
So you're playing Breath of the Wild. What's the difficulties? Master something?
Master mode, where everything is hard and the points don't matter.
and the points end up with you electrocuted by a Ganon blight.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay, good.
Thunderblight Ganon. He's a fun boy.
Thunderblight Ganon.
Yeah, well, my chat really wanted me to do that boss first, so it's
I would have
well.
voted otherwise.
No Master Sword, of
geez.
upgraded armor.
It's a bullshit fight, regardless. Though, let's be real.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's a terrible fight.
Is that the first one you're supposed to do? Is that like? I feel like I've heard that's the first one you're supposed to do, but when I played, I did the water one first.
Usually, that's the one I think people do first because you kind of head that way.
Yeah,
and then you run into the Zoras, and they're like, "Help us!" And it's like, okay.
They immediately pull you over. Like that's
gotcha.
That's why.
Yeah, I guess so because the prince shows up way out of place, right? Yep. And says, "Hey, follow me." Okay, cool.
Yeah,
because I never did the lightning one because I never finished the game. I just did that one and the fire one, and then I just never. It's a long game, man. All right, there's a lot going on.
It is. It is very long.
It's extensive. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll go back to it one day, and then never did. So hey, it's all good.
Good stream game.
It's a good stream game.
Link's Awakening is still best Zelda.
Link's Awakening,
dude, the Game Boy one, hell yeah.
Gotta disagree.
I don't think. Have I finished any Zelda games? I'm trying to think off the top of my head if I've finished a Zelda game.
How have you not?
I don't think I have.
Because I get easily distracted personally.
Twilight Princess, I finished that. I finished Twilight Princess.
I finished the 3D ones, I think. I finished all the 3D ones, and that's it.
Completed Ocarina of Time, gotten all the heart pieces,
same.
I got them once.
Majora's Mask, I got all the masks with a guide, but I still got all the masks. And
Count it.
Oh, Skyward Sword. I finished Skyward Sword. That was a pain in the ass.
Skyward Sword.
God.
Skyward Sword's literally the only one I haven't finished.
I've heard a lot about that game.
there's a lot about that game.
Yeah.
It's
it could have been good. Its plot is interesting, but that's about it.
Okay. There's a lot of cool ideas in the game. The execution of a lot of it though just feels bad, and it's I remember being a kid and playing Ocarina of Time and being like, dude, wouldn't it be so cool that one day in VR you could be Link and have a shield and swing your sword around and stuff like that? And then they translated that stuff to the Wii U, and it was bad. It never had that feeling that I wanted. But you could wildly wave around the Wii remote and slash things, so I guess it was okay.
I'm into it.
They kind of had this advertised as it was a whole open world thing and you fly around, but it's super linear still anyways. And then
there's not anything to explore at all.
There's nothing.
Well, they constantly build those games as open world. Like Ocarina is deceptively open world. Twilight Princess is slightly less linear, but still very linear.
It is incredibly linear. Yeah, playing through it on my streams.
They're very deceptively open world. Whoa, Hyrule Field, the big reveal, and then it's oh, and now go this way.
Yeah.
Whereas
pretty much.
Breath of the Wild is finally, they're yes, this is truly open world, and
do whatever,
supposedly
go
the
wherever.
formula going forward, which I'm into.
Yeah.
I like it, but that's the thing. For me, I kind of like the linear style because I get to play a game in its encapsulated form in 20 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, where I'm at in my life, that's a manageable chunk of time.
Yep. Yeah.
And so when I get to stuff like any of the open world games that I have played or anything like that, I end up just smashing through the story.
Yeah.
Just because that's what's going to let me play the game. in the amount of time that's actually manageable. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting, like with Spider-Man, I'm going to sit in Manhattan hunting down every little thing for 100 hours. And I'm like, no, I can't, man. I'm just going to finish the story and move on to the next thing. So, I mean, I can appreciate a lot of that open world stuff, but it's like the same thing. Why I never got into Skyrim. It was like, okay, here's everything. Go do the thing. And I'm like, well, I could lose 300 hours of my life, or I could attempt to smash through the story. Like that would be the thing, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a middle ground.
I think
It's weird because like open world and like just kind of open formula games in general are my favorite type of game, and yet I have zero time to do it. And it's really upsetting because that is my favorite type of game, because I could just lose myself for like 12 hours, and I just can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't have 12 hours.
I love the freedom of it, but I hate opening up a game map and it's absolutely just covered in objective markers. And I'm like,
oh god,
God, no, just put it away.
No.
I avoid Ubisoft games for that reason.
That was one of the like my gripes with the Spider-Man games. Like it was because it was, if you like collectathons, my god, do they have a collectathon for you? And there's so much stuff, and it just dominates your map all over the place, and you're just like, well, I'm gonna just ignore most of this and go do other stuff.
Yeah.
So like, you know,
the beauty about like open world games like that is like once you're done with the game, if you just like want to kind of revisit some place and just do whatever, you can.
Yeah.
And it's just like you have things to just dick around in, you know? Like for Spider-Man, you could just like web sling around New York City all day and just it's like,
I really enjoyed that. And that's a lot of the reason why I did a lot of those collectibles or those like side bases, side mission things, like because swinging around was just too much fun.
Yeah.
I think for me, like the closest formula for me time-wise right now was the newest God of War, where it had the ability to like go wander around and find things if you wanted, but like the story was so prevalent and so like in your face all the time that it didn't punish you for just going story, right? It was like, oh, you just want to play the story? Great, go play the story. The punishment was in if you chose a particular difficulty, and then it would punish you. And so it's like, okay, I can deal with that, but it's not like gating my experience behind a whole bunch of side quest stuff. Like a lot of, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the new Assassin's Creed, where like you essentially have to buy XP boosts when you get the game. Otherwise you end up grinding side content for like hours and hours and hours to even be able to do anything.
Thanks for reminding me to never buy those games.
I don't mind if the side content is interesting and I am into it, because like my big problem with the first Assassin's Creed game is the formula was just so fucking like, do your recon, kill a guy, do your recon, kill a guy in a tree, do your recon, kill a guy in a parade. Like it's just like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the second one going forward, and the ones going forward, it's like, oh, I felt more compelled to explore the world. I felt more like, all right, cool, I could do some side stuff. And I walked away from the series for no reason in particular. I just kind of like moved on to other things. And Odyssey, I'm like super interested in, but
sure.
If it had like, if you need to grind or you can't progress, if it doesn't feel like a grind, I'm into it. But if it feels like a grind, that's shitty game design.
Yeah. I can't grind.
Yep.
Well, that's the point. And Karma just pointed this out in chat. Like that, their point is they want you to do those microtransactions.
Oh, yeah,
and the thing is, people are doing it.
Big surprise! Microtransactions are successful.
People are doing it.
They're feeding the fucking beast.
And it's just like I can't justify anything like that. No, and that's the thing. And to be fair, like if I had the time to go back to like a quote unquote open world game, I would absolutely go back and finish The Witcher 3. And it's something I've not finished, and I have all of the content for it and all the DLCs, and like that's a game I need to go back and actually do. But it's one of those that I've kind of chalked up to the like, well, if we ever go full time, that's the one, man. We'll go play that.
It's like once a week you'll do like
I'll go do that
10-hour Witcher stream once a week.
Well, see that's the thing though, is like if I were to go full time one way or another, either give up streaming and just have whatever my normal job is, or go full-time streaming. And that, like, basically, if I can get myself down to having one job again, I would have time to play video games for fun.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm essentially working 2 jobs.
Yeah, well, I had this conversation a little bit with in my Discord, where like it was mentioned as like, well, you stream like every day, you play games. It's like, no. There's like a distinct difference between me playing games.
There's a difference.
And streaming as a format.
There's a big fucking difference.
I don't play the games that I would play if I was just playing games. I probably would have never left League of Legends if I wasn't streaming. Like, I would just keep playing that because that was my time sink.
I play very differently when I'm playing on my
so
own
much
versus
differently.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I'm putting on a show when I'm streaming and I'm like trying to figure out what's the best way for me to do this. One, efficiently, and two, like in an entertaining way. Yeah. Instead of like, I'm gonna take my time doing something this way because I want to do it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I it's one of, I don't think it gets any better. Like as you continue streaming, like even if you go full time, it's one of those things that like you do this now and you do whatever gets you by because it's your job.
Yeah.
But I feel like the only thing I do differently as a YouTuber and streamer is I started playing the choose your own adventure games like Life is Strange and the Telltale games. Before that, I figured, there's like no way I'm going to ever actually play them because there's barely any content there. It's just the story. It's easy enough for me to just watch them on YouTube. And then lo and behold, they actually contain some of my funniest moments. So
sure. Yeah. But it's one of those things that like if you weren't streaming it or you weren't recording it, those are some of the things you'd never say out loud. Like that would never get heard. You just be there doing it on your own,
Yep. Well, actually I wouldn't say it out loud, but I'd be thinking it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's in a different context, right?
Well, I think the difference between me recording and me not recording is I just don't vocalize the things that I'm thinking.
Right.
Sure.
And I maybe don't swear quite as much.
I think the difference for me too is like if in a plot game like Life is Strange or maybe like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I immerse myself more when I'm not streaming because I'm actually taking the time and like letting myself digest the stuff instead of like trying to perform it out. And then like the story points will hit me harder, like in Life is Strange when things go bad. Or like in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, when things go bad, I like genuinely cry because I'm so invested. And I cried on stream during Mystery Dungeon, but it's also because I've previously immersed myself and I'm reliving that experience again.
Sure.
So it's a nostalgic sadness, but it's not the same as when I'm playing it on my own. And it's a different impact just altogether.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think maybe it's enough business talk for us.
business.
So, sorry, chat. We're talking business.
Oh, crap,
one of these days
I'm not on Roll20.
we'll just do that. We'll just we'll make a podcast or something.
One of these
days
we're gonna do it.
Time is of the essence.
Yep.
So I think what we do now, before we jump back into the game proper, let's talk some goals. I know you guys have some slots open. Hathol, you have a couple. So hopefully you've decided on a couple goals in the last week. So group goals are still find and rescue Lady Tassir, secure a supply of water sufficient to reach Adis, cure Ignis of the effects of Karis' curse. We still all good there as group goals? Kind of stayed the same for quite some time, and I think pretty good at covering a lot of things. Ignis, you want to find your daddy, return to Earl Reese War Camp with Tassir alive, and reach Adis with the party alive.
All good.
All good. All right.
Yep.
Miara,
That's
you
me.
want to learn more about Hathol. We've been doing that. I don't know. I think you mentioned you might want to change that soon, but I didn't know if that was this episode or not. Familiarize yourself with desert terrain. You're currently working on that. Train with Balmiar to get better with the armor. I don't think it's actually happened so much yet, but it is a process that is happening.
So I'm changing 2 of them. To learn more about Hathol and train with Balmiar. And train with Balmiar, I'm going to replace with it's like kind of part of the party goal, but not part of the party goal. It's like a different reasoning behind it almost. But it's find a substantial place to camp for a few days to get food and water for the party. Because the idea of the party goal, from what my understanding of it, is just to secure a supply of water to reach Adis. And I'm looking for a place to settle for a little bit so we can actually recover while on this journey.
So you find a place to settle safely for what? Give me an amount of days that you'd like. Be like, oh yeah,
3
I
days,
want to do this.
like 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, you want to rest somewhere for 3
because I
days.
want Balmiar to recover because he's at level 3 exhaustion, and I know
He
he's really
is
tired.
indeed. Yeah, he's a little hurting.
Yeah, and I know that.
You guys will recover a little bit because you won't have any exhaustion after spending the night at in the tents with the hobgoblins. So that one night you will recover 1 tick if you guys have any exhaustion, just to keep that in mind. Okay, yeah, and you said you wanted to change the Hathol one?
Yes, and because of where we are in the story and the struggle of survival right now, I think Miara is like kind of questioning things about the world around her and her decisions in life. And I think one of her goals is to find out more about the aspects and see if there's one guiding her.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's an interesting one. That's a lot of introspection kind of things, and I dig it.
Yeah,
that's totally cool. All right, Darien, familiarize yourself with the desert terrain. That is a thing you are trying to do. Keep Ignis from dying in the desert. Ensure his survival. Find a way to communicate with Darren Silvernail.
Yeah.
All good, or you want to change any? Keep it. All right, Hathol, safely escort party to Adis. And then I have 2 blanks for you, bud.
So the second one I wanted is actually almost exactly the same as Miara's, which is get the party to fully recover from their exhaustion, which is going to require like 2 or 3 days of rest at this point, especially for the
it'll take rest or adequate amounts of supplies while traveling, right? Like that's the thing. You're not in any danger in this part of the desert because of the season that it is from heat. But it's mostly one of those that's like you guys haven't had adequate water for like days, right? So that's something that you're going to want to, attempt to have.
So if we were to continue traveling,
indeed,
with adequate supplies, we would still gain a tick of exhaustion back. Or do we need complete rest? I assumed we needed full rest.
Every long rest that you take without exerting yourself or with every day, right? You spend a full day. Let's say you have a full day with adequate rations and water, and then you complete a full rest after that day.
Okay.
You will reduce your exhaustion by 1.
Okay, even if we've traveled and stuff.
Yes, because you're traveling normally, and that's fine. Well, you just have to be able to maintain all of the food and water necessary to travel at a normal pace and then rest fully.
That's kind of good then, because that fits in with why the wording of my goal is to get the party to recover from their exhaustion, but is not specifically to set up camp like Miara wants to do for 3 days, because actually Hathol wants to continue onwards to get to Adis as quickly as possible.
Sure.
So there might be a little bit of compromise needed to be made there.
I'll come back here real quick for Miara. I just want to make sure that the mechanics are now clear. Do you want to keep what your goal is currently? Because I know that could have been a mechanical question that we didn't have.
I mean, I feel like at the same time, I think it'd be nice to kind of get a break from the travel for a little bit, but at the same time, I think that it is important that we get to Adis as soon as possible. So yeah, I might change it to be more closer in line to Hathol.
Okay, so get party to fully recover from exhaustion is essentially what I have down for him.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. Like be on the lookout for places to find for exhaustion or to cure exhaustion.
Okay. Cool. All right, and Hathol, your last one, please.
So, I would like Hathol wants to help the party to find some kind of trust / faith in the aspects. The members that don't currently have sort of any belief in that regard.
Okay.
And more specifically, Dravani.
Oh no!
Help the party.
Excuse me, have you heard about our Lord and Savior Giovanni?
Exactly.
The aspect of destruction.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you want? Let's
clarify. Let me clarify. This isn't from a let's go mad preaching kind of way. This is Hathol is aware he's spoken of Dravani a lot, but he's also aware there's been a huge amount of fuck-ups in the last few days. So he's kind of hoping to...
So he
Buy a
wants
little
to
faith back?
emphasize that
Get some-
Drahani is not the aspect of fuck-ups?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
I don't know the best way to word it.
Instill or renew
Confidence?
renew confidence of party in guidance by Druvani.
Yeah, okay.
I think that sort of fits.
Yeah.
But you want to talk to you want to speak the good word a little bit,
That's
right?
a little
And-
bit
and-
funny
little
that
bit.
comes up
Yeah.
like at the same time I decide that Miara wants to get into faith.
Yeah,
It's
like
really-
oh, I guess Druvani might have an interest. Cool. Yeah, no, I like it. We'll I'll decide the difficulties for these as we go along, and I think that covers our goals for today. Cool. So, any questions, anyone? Are we're good to go?
All good.
I think
I'm
we're
good.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. So I think what we do now is we come back in on the game proper, and we get our title screen right, DieFall, the aspects, and basically we get this nice long shot of the desert terrain in the morning, right? We get this nice shot, and we see off in the distance a large kind of red stone towering rock amongst this wasteland. And we kind of immediately cut to what looks like small feet running, some panting, this like kind of high childish voice. And then like we see that the feet stumble and fall. And we catch a sight of what looks to be Lady Tassir, having fallen, and is looking back behind her with wide, scared eyes, shuffling backwards, looking behind her. And you hear these like hoots and hollers and yelps and somewhat dog noises and the pursuing of some kind of pursuant. We also get like little flashes of like long hair, sharp teeth and fangs, drooling mouths, and like the padding of feet on all fours, again looking very much dog-like. And we see the Lady Tassir get back up and head towards the large rock wall, and then that's kind of where we cut to black, and we come back to our party. Having spent the night in one of the tents provided by the Sun Scouts Sept, their war party, because they had previously helped them out with a little, inadvertently helped them out in clearing an oasis from, oh god, I lost everyone and then found everyone.
There you are.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That was weird.
I lost everyone and then found everyone. Are we good? We're good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Discord hiccup
Okay.
for a second, I guess.
Yeah, the Discord hiccup.
I'm scared.
So
Oh, boy.
we by inadvertently clearing out an oasis from what the hobgoblins are calling a Baharjan, which is essentially a oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of a boulette. So they cleared out the oasis for themselves, and the Sun Scouts have kind of taken them in, and in thanks provided food, water, and shelter for the evening. Our party had just had a conversation with the current war party sept leader, Seely, and there was some talks in brokering a deal of getting a chart or map of some kind, and maybe being furnished with some supplies so our party could continue their journey in the desert with a little less exhaustion and trouble and a little bit more preparedness. So I think we come in and our party is waking up on the 6th day of being in the desert. So the 5th day has been completed, and everyone wakes up on the 6th day in the desert in the tent provided by the hobgoblins. What would you like to do?
Drink some water.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have full water skins from the night before they were provided to you, so you're more than welcome to do that. Mechanically, after having the long rest, uninterrupted, and adequate food and water for the day/evening, you all will reduce your exhaustion by 1 point. So if
Okay.
you're at 1, you go to 0, 2 goes to 1, 3 goes to 2, etc., etc. As a reminder for what the exhaustion levels mean, I will go ahead and post those into the chat real quick.
Just to clarify, is this the first or the second time we're having that reduced? I can't remember if it happened once last session.
No, this will be the first.
This is the
first, yeah.
first. Yeah, okay.
Mhm. Sorry. Okay. It hacked up what the chart looks like. 1 is disadvantage on ability checks. 2 is speed halved. 3 is disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
Yikes.
4 is hit point maximum halved. 5 is speed reduced to 0. 6 is death.
Damiar was
not-
halfway to death. Oh no.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yep. You can die of exhaustion.
Well, that
okay.
makes sense. Though.
Makes sense, yeah.
I am a testament to say that that is not true. I'm always exhausted.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys wake up. You drink some water. I assume you prepare your clothing. The garments provided to you the night before. Some of that like desert garb, if you so choose to keep it. So it looks like sometime in the night your other clothes were dropped off. Some of them have looked like they're mended in some way, cleaned somewhat. But some of you guys have clothing that is irreparably like stained and just awfully cut
me.
up and
Blood and guts.
blood and
Me
guts
too.
all over. Blood and guts all over.
This is
Some
Um,
of you.
Mel?
We know who.
They don't. They each, though they are stained, they don't smell. They each have a distinct smell of like a sandalwood.
Okay.
But they are still. Some of them are still sufficiently stained. So it's up to you what you decide to wear.
I'm gonna
We-
switch over to desert clothing and just store my old clothes.
If we
Sure.
keep
I'm
the
gonna do
desert
the same.
clothing, is it like stealing the bathrobes in a hotel?
No, that you have been assured that they have been given to you.
Yeah,
Gifted
I
to
figured
us,
they
yeah.
were a gift.
As part of the hospitality rules, the fact that your clothes were ruined due to basically handling a hobgoblin issue, they have thanked you with some things.
See, I've been telling you guys, these hobgoblins have a bad reputation for no reason. They're nice guys.
Well, you're not wrong.
As you say.
Yeah. So what would you guys like to do with your morning here in the hobgoblin camp? You can hear plenty of sounds outside, the hustle and bustle of people moving around, hobgoblin being like shouted across the area. Hathol being the only one that understands hobgoblin. You basically get the idea that they're helping each other tear down tents, pack up some of the weaponsmiths like portable forges and things. They're getting ready to move.
As Ignis dresses in his new clothes, can I check to see if I notice if his wound is any worse?
You said on Ignis?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you'd like to, you can ask him about it.
I don't wanna be the
Oh, you just want to take a peek while he
doting
changes?
the doting paladin.
Do you want to take a peek while he changes, or you want to
Yeah.
inspect
Keeping
him?
Tom.
Yeah, I want to sneak a
Yeah,
peek at-
sure.
Dirty boy.
I mean, so as Ignis changes into the desert clothing that is provided, you risk a glance, and you take a look, and yeah, it's still that large, especially in a gnomish body, puncture wound, blackened on the inside, and there does seem to be a little bit of something oozing out of it. And the skin around it is also blackened. The veins are like this dark purple color underneath the skin. And since the last time you looked, it looks like it's expanded somewhat. But for Ignis, I don't know if you check out the wound at all or whatever, but you don't feel worse. You don't feel any different. But visually, it's definitely like expanded somewhat.
Yeah, I
Ignis,
think I would.
make a perception check to see if you notice Darien peeking on you.
I think I want to do that,
No.
especially since I'm not rolling a disadvantage anymore. Celebratory perception roll, guys.
I was gonna laugh if it was a crit fail though.
I mean, Ignis, you notice that Darien glances at your wound while you change.
Well, it feels fine, Darien. No need to worry yet.
Well, it's not causing any additional discomfort.
No, but If it does, you'll be the first to know. Well, second. I'll probably be screaming first.
Good to know.
Friends, the camp is packing up and preparing to move. Perhaps we could offer some assistance with their tasks before we leave.
I was just thinking the same thing, Hathol. It would be
They've been
nice
very
to pay back
hospitable.
some of the hospitality. Yes.
Well, I'm going to stay here because if you recall, what was her name? Hebe?
Seely
Seely?
doesn't like
Seely.
you.
No, she's very heightest.
Mm.
Very heightest. No, I want to look through our stores, the bag of holding, and see what we could offer in trade.
Inventory management.
I mean, yeah. Go
Resident Evil inventory management.
Yeah, go to your item screen real quick,
Yeah.
Ignis, and take a look.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to you. I don't know how long you take a look at things.
Just kind of looking through the various items that have collected over the days, even weeks, and just trying to figure out, okay, would a nomadic warlike desert tribe actually want something like this?
Sure. Yeah,
Just looking through these real quick.
you go through it. Rest of the party, what are you doing?
Miara, should we seek out Seely and offer our assistance?
I think that's a good idea. Darien, do you wish to join us?
I glance worriedly at the idea of leaving Ignis alone somewhere.
With
I
hobgoblins.
understand. You stay here then, and we'll go and offer our assistance.
I want to make
Just
a good
understand the
impression,
look.
but I'm also terrified of leaving
Okay.
him alone.
You have your priorities in the right order, Darien.
Ugh.
I understand the look that you're giving him. that you just looked over. It's like, all right.
Ignis can cause far much more trouble for us if left alone.
Yeah.
Give Sealer my best.
I can craft stuff. Just you wait.
That's
That's what I'm worried about.
There you go.
Brilliant.
I love this game.
All right, so Miara and I will go and find Seely.
Yeah, you guys. So you exit the tent. You've taken your time to suit up. I assume Balmiar comes with you, and yeah, and upon your exit, you see that the hobgoblin tents are being torn down. Camels are being loaded up with various different accoutrement. The tents having been torn down, or the small portable forges from the weaponsmiths. And there just seems to be a general air of activity going on around you. The air is a little bit dusty, sand being kicked up with all of the movement. But as you kind of walk back towards to where you left Seely the night before, or where you think you did, you are quickly are approached by her as she spots you across the camp. And she gives you a nod and approaches. She's wearing the full desert like regalia. The veil hangs low on her neck. Her hood's already pulled up. She has a bundle of javelins strapped into a case at her side, as well as a short horn bow draped over her shoulder. And she greets you. Good morning. I hope you slept well. Where is the small one and the shiny one?
The shiny one is keeping the small one out of trouble.
Should get the small one out of the tent. We intend to move soon.
And that's
He's just
actually why
taking a look
we've
through-
come to find you.
Yeah, we've come to help you get ready for your leave, while he goes to see. Well, Ignis goes to look to see if there's anything that you guys might like.
No, do not require your assistance. Every member of the Sept has their job and their job alone. But my thanks. I do believe we were to make a trade this morning if you had need of supplies or star chart.
I believe we have need of both, if we can offer you something suitable in exchange.
She nods and she goes, have you thought on it? What do you have to offer?
If we can pry the bullet armor out of Ignis's tight grip, then maybe that will be sufficient.
Bullet hide is useful, though we do travel to war, and our beasts are already full. I am not sure that we can carry the extra weight. We do not have this bag that seems to hold so many things in such a small space.
I guess we could make this process easier, Seely, by asking, what is it? Is there anything you require right now? Are you short on anything, or is there anything that would be particularly useful to you right now?
She kind of sighs. Whenever a sept goes to the desolation, we are always short on bodies, warriors. But that is not a requirement I have of you. That is the job of the sept. I do not know if we require much from Southlanders. Traders will come during the celebrations at Adis the next season. Things to purchase from the merchants may be useful.
Would you take an IOU?
She kind of chuckles. She says, this is not useful for us that to go to war. Do you have weapons of any kind? Maybe...
Oh. What
We
about
may have spare weapons. We'd have to go check with Ignis to see what he's found in his bag.
we have
he
the big
carries
orc
them.
things. Is it orcs that we killed? The big
No,
the big
on
axe.
Yes,
We have the big axe.
you have the big axe.
Ignis,
Okay.
fetch the big axe.
And my axe.
Why is Hathol yelling at me?
I'm sorry, I just got excited.
Yeah, so Ignis and Darien, as you guys are like, Darien, I assume you're just like watching Ignis like pull something out of the bag, take a look at it, and then put it back in the bag, and then pull something else out of the bag and put it back in. Because
Pretty
like,
much.
unless he's got it written down, that's how you take inventory of a bag of holding. You have to think about what's inside of it and then pull it out.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much.
Yeah.
And now at this point, after the 5th item, I'm thinking, man, I should have made a list.
Yeah.
Next time I
There's
get pen
a-
and paper.
The tent flap is pulled open. A large hobgoblin in full desert garb. The veil is pulled down at the moment. Looks around inside and kind of just looks up at Darien and then just says, "Out. We must move."
Come, my lord.
Wow. Yes, all right.
Yeah, and as you like walk by, the hobgoblin doesn't even look down at Ignis, but like definitely gives like a good up down to Darien, like noting the weapon locations, the armor, and things like that. Darien, if you didn't know any better, you'd probably think that he was trying to think about how he would kill you. Yeah, but as you exit the tent, there's 4 other hobgoblins nearby, some of them wearing white, and they begin to pull down the tent and empty it of the bedrolls that you were given and the things that were inside.
Shoot, I left my Gideon's Bible in there.
Yeah, so you guys exit the tent. You see nearby that that Miera and Hathol are speaking to Seely.
Hey, Ignis, come over here.
Oh Lord, what do they want now?
How many spare weapons you got in that bag right now?
Let's see.
Too many, probably.
We used to, and then we started a war. Now we have fewer.
We still have the giant orc axe, though, right?
We do. Here.
This could be a suitable trade for Seely.
You pull out
I
the
guess.
giant axe from the bag. Seely looks
Battle
at
axe.
it, just like her eyes widening as you pull it out. She goes,
Just
"Do not believe any of us here would be able to wield such a weapon." She like pats the javelins at her side. She goes, "We prefer to move much more quickly than that would allow."
do I have javelins?
I'm
No, I
internalizing this, but she's fussy, man.
Would you be able to smelt the item and smelt the axe and maybe turn it into other weaponry?
With their mobile forge.
She actually stops for a moment and turns her. She like whispers something to the hobgoblin to her right, just behind her. Hathol, you pick up a little bit of it, and basically it says fetch. She says fetch a weaponsmith, and
Actually,
Yeah, so
if you have use,
that he runs off.
okay. If you have use of
Um,
materials, we do have raw metals.
She looks at you and goes, "Metal is rare in the waste. What do you have?"
I'll pull out a chunk of silver.
She holds out her hand, waiting for you to maybe place it in it. You see like long, sharp fingernails on a pinkish palm.
All right, I'll hand her a piece.
Yeah, she takes it and she looks at it and she goes, "Silver is too soft. Does not make for good weaponry or arrowheads or spearheads. I do not believe that we require this type of metal." As she hands back the silver to you, the first hobgoblin returns with a hobgoblin wearing like a leather apron over top some of the desert clothing. He seems to have some like tongs and a small hammer at his side. He gives a slight nod to Sealy, and in hobgoblin says, "What do you require of me?" Sealy nods over to him and in hobgoblin tells him, "This axe here, can we melt it down and use it?" He looks up. Who's holding the axe currently?
I figured at this point it would just be laying on the ground. It's like Ignis would just pull it up of the bag and then.
Yeah. Okay. So it like falls on the ground,
Yeah.
and he like
As they've
looks
walked
down.
over, I've definitely like picked it up to like stand it up so he could get a better look at it.
Sure. So like it's just handle up or whatever, and you're
Yeah.
like, he
Leaning
proffers
on
a
it.
hand to Miara, who's holding it.
And I pass it over.
You pass it over to him. Yeah, you notice this one now. The hobgoblin, he seems to have a very triangular face, close cropped hair, and he seems to be balding a little bit. He has a little bit longer ears than some of the other hobgoblins that you've seen, and his fangs are like protruding slightly more than some of the other ones. He hefts the axe and takes a look at it. It's kind of whispering, talking under his breath a little bit. Flips it around, checks the other side, and then like puts it down on the ground. And he nods over to Sealy. Sealy comes back to you and in common, "We can use this iron. This is a good start. What else do you have?"
Well, if you need us to sweeten the deal, we do have this lovely shield. I'll take out the black iron shield. And then
And place it on the ground.
well, it just falls over.
Oh,
A
sure.
giant slab of metal.
Yeah, so the hobgoblins, you've kind of gathered like a small like group that's like viewing what's happening here, and they keep seeing you grab super large objects out of what seems to be nothing in this bag, and then just some of them are just wide-eyed and like nudging each other and whispering and stuff like that. Sealy, after like recomposing herself, watching you pull out this giant hunk of iron out of the bag, looks around and notices that like there's a group gathered, and in Hobgoblin she quickly dismisses them and tells them to get back to work. And then like the crowd scatters. So yeah, they it's shit, after they kind of recover themselves a little bit, the weaponsmith, his eyes still wide, looks over at Sealy and nods again, and she goes, "This is good. This will get you the water that you need, I think. I will give you rations and water skins. I am close to giving you the chart to Adis, but what else do you have?"
Do you have any use for alcohol on the battlefield?
She kind of chuckles, and then she goes, "Only after."
I was expecting that.
I do have a question though, Sealy. The silver may not be useful in combat, but you might be able to trade it off with other merchants that might come by for other weaponry and maybe other supplies.
She nods, and she goes, "Trading season is far off from now, and we go to war. I do not have space for extra metals that cannot be used as weapons."
All right. I understand.
Well, if you have any use for alcohol, either as a antiseptic or for entertainment, I do have this fine dwarven whiskey. I'll take out the bottle.
She looks at it, and she proffers her hand outwards.
And I'll just kind of turn it like a sommelier and have her inspect the label.
She takes a look. Is it has Sorry, Rob decided to type as McSwiggins into the chat. Oh no, my stash. Oh no. She
I don't even
has it been
remember where we
uncorked
got
yet?
that.
Has it
No.
been uncorked yet, or
No, haven't opened it, haven't done
No,
anything.
you know
with it.
where this was found in the treasure room of
Yeah.
the dwarven.
Yeah.
This is literally like a dwarf king's finest.
Yeah.
Whoo!
It's also
so
very
Share
expensive.
that? We might be
She
able
l-
to use it.
We might
She
be able to
looks at it.
sell it for a lot of money. It's actually incredibly valuable.
So so you don't let her hold it. You just kind of turn it around.
Yeah, it's incredibly valuable.
She looks. She goes. I am curious. You see her like mulling it over in her head, like, is it worth giving away where Adis is? I don't know. I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I like pull Miara to the side for a little quiet whisper in the ear that Silly
Yeah, sure.
won't hear?
Yeah, might as
Like,
well.
Miara, I could charm this person with magic, but we may get what we want, but it may lead to bigger problems after.
I don't recommend doing it. I've heard of the spell that I think that you're thinking of using, and if they find out, they could come back and come to kill us.
They will find out. It just depends how they would react to it.
I don't think they would react kindly to being cast a spell upon.
Manipulated.
Yes.
Damn.
I would be willing to part with my longsword and sickle if it means our survival and safe passage to Adis.
And if the whiskey is not acceptable, we do have a number of very nice gemstones, in case that's to your liking.
Her eyebrows climb a little bit. Goes. How have you described the whiskey? Have you told her where you found it yet, or like is it just you just held out a bottle to her?
I just held out the bottle to her so far. I don't even know if she wants it.
She looks at it and she's curious. She looks up at you and goes, "I do not understand these runes upon the bottle. What is this?"
Well, to be honest, neither do I. I don't read Dwarvish, but we found this in Dwarvish. Dwarvish. Dwarfish. Dwarfish. Dwarvish.
Dwarvish.
She looks down at you and then she looks up at Darien and she goes,
Fish and chips.
"Will you quiet the small one, please?"
Anyway, we found it in the tomb of a dwarven king.
Dwarven king. Dwarves are rare in these lands. King of where?
King of oh god, what was it called?
And she
Don't tell me.
distinctly interested in what you're saying.
Belarus.
Scroll.
That a king in Belarus, you've never been there.
Wait, then
So
what the
that would
heck?
be very
what the heck
difficult.
do I have?
What
What was the mountain called?
Well, so it was the Silvernail clan.
Yeah.
So yes,
What was the mountain
it was-
called?
there was no name for the mountain. It was just the Silvernail stronghold
What
underneath
the
the
heck
mountains.
did I write in my inventory?
Belarus is where half of this, as many of the Silvernail clan were still living, went.
Oh. Okay.
They
okay,
left.
Okay. Then I'd like to amend that. We found this in the tomb of a dwarven king of the Silvernail clan.
She's like looking and interested. Roll persuasion for me.
Oh, brother.
I mean, heck, if you don't have that, I have like 50 other things that I could offer. Persuasion.
She definitely seems taken by the story. She goes, "What more do you know of this king?"
Actually, we know that he possessed a warhammer and something else that Darien might be able to expand on.
She looks over at Darien and goes, "What does the small one mean that you may be able to tell? Do you know of this dwarven king?"
My lord speaks out of turn.
Difficult to explain. I this warhammer that I possess.
Magnificent weapon, by the way.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I don't mean to be rude, but may I?
So this is why it's difficult to explain. Upon picking up the warhammer, I discovered that a spirit resides within it, and he speaks to me. And anybody that touches the warhammer then establishes a connection with the spirit. So it may harm your brain.
Hathol just whispers, and they call me crazy.
Am the greatest warrior of the Sun Scouts, and you think I will be harmed by something that lives in your hammer?
I would rather not risk it.
But you say that this hammer spirit is the one that owned this bottle of whatever?
I can't exactly ask him because I don't understand Dwarvish, but I assume so.
The
I mean, Darien, how about we like hold it up to how about you like look at it and maybe that'll trigger a reaction? Maybe he knows it?
Okay, it's worth
Here
a
you
shot.
go. I'll hand it over to Darien.
Oh, the bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, this totally, like, as Darien looks down and, like, cradles the bottle in his hand, that little knot of emotions in the back of his head peaks up. Generally, Darien's only ever been able to, like, notice it during battle, where it roars with him as he strikes with the hammer. But it seems interested, and it looks down, and as Darien's eyes go across the dwarven script, he feels this emotion. It's not words, but it's just this like this longing and this like this memory. It pulls back all of these memories. And Darien, you're hit immediately. I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Oh, brother.
He's gonna want to drink.
No.
A 9. Darien's eyes, the rest of the party notices as he looks at the bottle, Darien's eyes roll immediately back into his skull and he falls to his knees. Very similar to the first time that Darien held the hammer.
Darien? Was that magical whiskey?
Darien,
Does it also have a spirit?
You hold it down, and your eyes are still down upon it. But in your mind, you see the old Silvernail clan. You see that stronghold in its bustling times, the forge at its full height, silver being mined every day, and at night, some of the finest whiskey that you've ever tasted graces your lips as you sit upon a throne, admiring your family in front of you. And at the end of that,
Darien, and at this point,
what seems like an eternity for you, Darien, you feel like you've lived a life of this dwarf. You come to. For everyone else, it's maybe been about 7 seconds.
And like Ignas is poised over Darien, one hand on his shoulder, one hand raised, ready to slap him.
Ignas, what are you doing?
You blanked. You went blank. Your eyes rolled into the back of your head. We thought we'd lost you. Did you go into the bottle?
Sealy looks around and says, should I fetch a healer? We have one nearby.
No. I'm fine.
That was...
As I was saying, I have a very complicated emotional connection with the spirit in the hammer.
His Facebook status relationship is it's complicated.
With like 10 people.
roll with advantage, Darien. Roll persuasion.
Ooh.
I'm technically still exhausted. Should that be a normal roll then?
Yes.
Sorry, you said persuasion?
But you're only a
Yes.
level 1 exhaustion. I
All
forget.
Yes,
check.
but
Oh, yeah,
he's
okay,
giving
yeah.
it to me with advantage, so it
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be without.
My bad.
15.
I just had to look at the thing again.
Sealy nods. He goes, I see. Are you sure you do not need a healer of some kind?
I think maybe he could. We don't really know the full extent of the spirit in his head.
I don't understand Dwarvish, so I don't want to relinquish my connection without at least first speaking with Darien.
Oh, I did
with the
not.
spirit.
I did not mean that. It seems. I think that is beyond what I had in mind. Just someone to check your health.
Oh, my health is fine. I'm a little tired, but
I think Ignis just whispers to her, yes, we maybe could use a healer. Just a little bit.
She looks down at it. Have you stood up yet?
I'm still kind of like hesitating, and then I'll turn to her and say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to spit in the face of your hospitality. Yes, I will. I kind of want to humor her.
Sure, yeah.
Sure. I will see your healer.
She says in Hobgoblin, Hathol, you pick it up as fetch the druid. And the one that went and found the armor smith is now running away again to go find the druid.
It's gonna be our secret sixth party member.
He trots off, and as he leaves, Celie looks down and goes. She proffers a hand to help you to your feet,
and I'll take it.
Yeah, she helps you up. Her grasp is strong. Her hands distinctively calloused by many battles with utilizing spears and bow and things like that. And she pulls you up easily. And she looks down at the bottle and she goes, "This has been interesting. And that is of value. For the bottle, I will give you the chart."
Could I instead offer a couple more weapons?
She shakes her head and she goes, "No, this is... Unless you have something more interesting than this, I think with the iron you have already provided us, I do not want to carry much more that is heavy."
Well, let me see what we have. I mentioned gemstones.
She's like, her eyes haven't left like the bottle. And she keeps like looking up at Darien and like looking at the hammer haft that like sits. Do you wear it at your side, Darien?
Yeah.
So she keeps glancing down at the hammer and then looking at him and taking it in. And she looks over at Ignis and then says something in Hobgoblin. And the armor smith kind of chuckles a little bit. Hathol, you pick it up and is like, and basically she said, "I wish the small weak one would just be quiet." And then she kind of looks back down at Darien and she goes, "This seems to be yours. Will you give it away?"
I can't.
She like looks up at you and goes, She takes a couple steps back. "Well, that is a shame. What else do you have to offer?"
I kind of look apologetically at Ignis, hoping that he'll save me.
Actually, I'll just take the bottle back and place it in the bag.
She watches it like
Ignis
a
aside
hawk.
for a second. I need to pull Ignis aside for a second.
Okay.
So yeah, you walk over to him.
Yeah.
Celie just doesn't take her eyes off. She looks up at Hathol though, and then addresses him in Hobgoblin. "You travel with such interesting Southlanders."
For the longest time, I traveled with no one, and yes, they are an interesting group. The small one in particular.
She's like you see her like lips pull back a little bit. And you see like the fangs sitting at the side, and she seems to be smiling a little bit at that. Ignis and Miera, yeah, you said you were being pulled to the side.
Yeah. Ignis, I know this might be a long shot, but they might be able to give us that chart if we willingly give them our sending stones.
Are you insane?
Look, I know that we
Because
need...
I'm not. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know that we need them, but they could use it out on the battlefield a lot more efficiently than we could at the moment. And we need that chart. That's the only way we will find our way to Adis.
That has to be the last resort. The last resort being that we convince Darien to give up that whiskey, because even though I am loath to part with it, it is practically speaking the least useful thing we have.
I agree.
However, before the sending stones, we still have potions. We still have potions of healing that they could use.
All right. I at least wanted to offer the idea, but I think Darien might be on with something with holding on to that whiskey bottle.
I
He might be
agree.
close to talking with Darren.
I agree, but that should be our last resort.
All right. I figured I would at least give the heads up.
All right. Well, let's see if we can't broker a deal. Actually, you know what? Before we go back, I got a better idea.
Mm-mm.
I got a better idea.
Uh-oh.
No, it's a good idea.
Dynamite.
Not anymore. Okay. Darien, could we see you over here for a second?
I'll turn to Sealy. Excuse me, and I'll walk over.
All right. So this heightist doesn't seem to like me talking, so I thought I would give you a brief list of the things we might be able to offer them, and then you could offer them to her.
Okay.
All right. So we have. I'm just gonna run through the list, but you know what? Can I just like copy paste some stuff into chat?
That is
So-
up to you.
All right. Well, you know, I'll just tell it. We have fine dwarven wares that we recovered from the Silver Nail clan. We have the silver chunks, which they've said they don't want for weapons, but they could make for jewelry. We have the great sword that we took off that orc, which they could use. I don't know. We have various gemstones. We have potions of healing that they would probably be very interested in. I mean, worst case scenario, we have money. I mean,
Well-
I'll be honest. I don't want. I'm sorry for interrupting, by the way.
No,
I don't want to.
I'm trying to interrupt.
I don't want to give away the whiskey. I saw how you had that reaction to it, but if they won't go for anything else, feel like that should be our last resort.
How easy would it be for you to make the potions that you so often brew for us? We can offer your services, and it may ingratiate you with Sealy. I mean, you don't really have anything else going for you. With
Damn.
respect, my lord.
With respect.
With all due respect, you're fucking
Bless
useless.
his heart. Bless his heart.
Thanks. I mean, it's
I
not
know with
hard.
Sealy.
It's not hard. It's basically magical, and I'll just take out my alchemist kit and just pull out a potion. You know, it's I don't actually
it
do
appears
anything.
from nowhere. Yep.
Yeah. And the only thing is they can't have more than one a day.
Mm.
Also, I think it only lasts a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I believe so. If not used, the vial and its contents disappear after 1 hour.
Oh,
Wow.
So I would be fantastic if they wanted me to like come along as a battlefield medic, because I could just sit in the back lines, just be like potion, 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 and just endlessly everyone gets their free potion. But
Once a day.
yeah, once a day. But yeah, it wouldn't work unless they have people who are currently wounded.
You guys have physical potions of healing, though, right?
I know, that's what I was talking about.
yeah. No, I just didn't know how many.
We have a basic healing potion and a superior healing potion.
You know, we've
two.
there's clearly some people in this sept with some pretty strong magical ability. We saw that guy with the huge sphere of water. Could you, like, you know, teach them somehow to make potions like this? Perhaps share the knowledge?
If they were... Also, I don't think you're part of this conversation, but...
I sidled over at some point. I felt lonely.
He's tired of like Sealy just staring daggers at the group and him, just waiting.
It's so uncomfortable over there, guys.
And
Just waiting.
Then I guess suddenly Ignas would just look over like, Hathol, when did you come over here? Well, I mean, I would certainly be willing to teach them how to make potions if they would teach us how to make the water, but I don't know if we could do that in an expeditious manner.
Expeditious?
Thank you. Sorry, what Dusan said in chat. Why is it whenever people say with all due respect, they actually mean kiss my ass?
My favorite is the southern version of that is bless her heart. Just, bless her
Really?
heart. Oh,
Dumb.
yeah.
Oh no.
Bless her heart. Oh, bless their heart.
How many
Yeah.
times has somebody said that to me?
It's literally the same thing as
Oh,
no offense
no.
or something like that. Like, she's dumb as a brick, bless her heart.
Oh,
It's just a way to get away with
Yeah,
it.
that's we have no offense here in the West Coast. It's no offense really means go fuck yourself.
In New Jersey, we don't give a flying fuck.
You just don't- no preface, no preface. You just say it.
Like, you're an idiot. Fucking douchebag.
Oh, you're an idiot, bless her heart. Yeah, that's how you get away with it. It's not getting away with it. That's the worst.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. So Sealy, you guys have noticed maybe if you're like talking or whatever, she's basically turning around. She's working with her people on and getting status reports about the if they're ready to go or not, essentially.
All right. So Darien, you have the list of things we can offer? Gemstones, great sword, healing potions.
My intelligence modifier is a -2, so I'm using that as the excuse for why I
I'm
don't
probably
remember
still
anything you
standing
just said to
there.
me. Dwarven wares, potions,
Yes, dwarven wares, potions,
big sword,
big sword, gemstones.
gemstones.
I
Yes.
like to imagine that Darien's not necessarily dumb. He just daydreams a lot.
Yeah, that's
like,
exactly what
yeah.
it is.
And like he just had this like weird comatose episode of living an entire dwarven king's life. And you know what? It's pretty easy for him to be like, man, that was crazy, and just like settling on that for a while. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Well,
That's how I like to imagine. Darien's not dumb. He can
JD-esque
read. It's
daydream
just,
moments from Scrubs. Like that's
exactly.
what Darien does all day.
yeah, he just daydreams. Just like, oh man, it wouldn't be cool if I was the hero. Like he just does that every once in a while.
I hope there aren't any mushrooms nearby.
Like constantly thinking about that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so,
Occasionally, every now and again, he's like,
mushrooms.
"We're clear for now."
yeah, so as you guys kind of like, you turn from your private conversation, you notice that the weaponsmith is gone, and so are the axes, the axe and the shield. So the two pieces of iron that you have handed over, and Sealy seems to be conversing with another hobgoblin with their veil up. And then that hobgoblin nods and trots away at a pretty good clip. And she turns around and says, "Well, what do you have?"
Well, upon reevaluating the inventory, we have a great many things from the Dwarven Kingdom that we acquired.
And while Darien's talking, I want Ignas is just going to like pull things out and just kind of model them. And go, "Ooh,
Are you my Vanna White?
Yes.
Yeah.
For this
Shopping
purpose,
network.
I am your Vanna White.
Bless his heart.
Home shopping network. Yeah.
And so yeah, I'll just say we acquired a great many things from the Dwarven Kingdom, especially their storeroom. Many treasures in there, including gemstones, which again are useful for the next trading season. And the odd merchant, like I'm sure there's plenty of random parties that trek through the desert at odd times of year. We can't be the only idiots out here.
She looks at you and goes, "No, you are." Especially the only ones that are so ill prepared. The merchant season is not for past the winter. You're here at a very interesting time.
Well, in any case, we have a couple other weapons that we could offer, or at the very least, you can melt down the metal and use them for tools that you might need. And we have some healing potions.
Healing potions? What is this?
Are you not familiar with healing potions?
I do not know what you speak of.
Oh, my lord, do you mind?
I'll take out the small healing potion. Yeah,
One of yours or one of the ones that you have?
not one of mine.
Okay, like a standard.
Yeah, just standard small.
Lowball them.
Okay, you pull it out.
pretty much.
And so I'll hand it to.
It's a swirly red metallic
Yeah.
liquid color. Yep.
I want to point out we could really swindle these guys by giving them Ignis's stuff because it doesn't. They don't
No.
know. what theirs
I don't want
are.
them to come back and
But-
find me.
No,
I'm not actually suggesting it. If I was a
No.
thief, I would.
Oh yeah, if we were like more chaotic, then yeah, totally.
And I'll say, well, it effectively has all of the healing properties of one of my spells or one of your healer's abilities. And these you can use at any time, but Ignis actually can craft his own that are good for about an hour.
I'll pull out one of mine.
Mm.
She's looking
pull out
hard
another.
at you. You say it heals wounds, much as the healing from the divine does?
Yes.
Show me.
And I'll
Do
turn
you have
around.
Somebody injured.
I'll turn
Yeah.
around. Yeah. Well. Oh, actually, that's a good point.
You know what?
I was just gonna Dragon Ball Z it and ask somebody to wound me.
No, no.
Okay.
Krillin, I need you to
Okay.
shoot me now.
Hathel's trying to get in good with Sealy right here. You're just
Yeah.
gonna punch Ignis in the face.
No. Here, I
And
want to
you-
make a suggestion, just to kind of double proof it, to show that it works on hobgoblins. Can we borrow someone who is expendable to demonstrate?
No, let me handle it.
Do you say that out loud?
rats, please.
Do you, Ignis, do
Did
you say that
really
out loud?
say that
I'm
out loud?
gonna let Darien go first because I know she's gonna just.
that out loud?
No, I'm gonna let Darien go
Ooh,
first because I know
okay.
she's just gonna give me the finger and then hit me.
Probably
And then we
kill
can
you.
test it on you.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any injured currently?
No, we have not met battle yet. You prevented what injuries we would have sustained at the waypoint.
All right, fine. And I'll take out my knife and just make a cut on my hand.
Sure.
my lord.
Yeah. You take point of damage.
Okay. And I will take one of my potions, the Arcanist potions, and chug it down.
I mean, you can't roll lower than a 1, so
Yeah, so-
obviously it heals up. And
You can
you
certainly
know,
try.
as you chug it, yeah, you can certainly try. Sadly, it can't. But
You have a
yeah,
negative.
like as I assume you like hold your palm out as it's
Oh
bleeding.
yeah. Oh yeah. Just go. Glug, 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 glug.
Yep, and it like seals itself over, and the blood ceases to flow. And her eyes widen. She goes, "Interesting." She's gonna make this is just for her. She's gonna make an insight check to see if she can see it, like, because she doesn't believe that this is a thing, right? Like this is, there's no way, there's no way. So she's just gonna make a straight intelligence check here.
Eva.
She rolls a 10. So like to her, she's like, okay, yeah, this is magic. I need that. I need that thing. She looks up at you and she goes, "How many do you have?"
We have the 2, but as we're traveling, if we should meet battle, Ignis can prepare one that anybody can take 1 per day. And
You
I'm
are traveling with us to the desolation?
Oh, they're not going to aid us. Okay. We have 2.
I thought Miara and Rob, all you guys had like physical potions that were given to you. You've had multiple. You've had multiple. So do you say 2?
I'm sorry. I assumed everything we had was in the bag of holding. That's my bad. We do have physical potions. No,
I did give you guys some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it basically you guys took it just because like, what if Ignis goes down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what if?
I will offer mine into the pot of tradey potions.
Okay, so how much do you say?
Well, let's.
Well,
how
much?
Be cautious.
We
because
each
these
have
are
one?
super valuable.
I think a regular like baseline healing potion or a minor. I guess they're called minors. They're worth about 50 gold. So not like a super.
But she
super
also
amount.
doesn't know the value of these either.
No.
She's
I'm
never
letting
seen
you
before.
guys know what like
Yeah.
just in case.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. A basic healing potion, which actually is there one below basic that's minor, or is that the
It just
smallest?
says potion of healing. It just says potion of healing.
Really? Okay.
yeah,
Why'd I
Jesus
write
says
basic?
there's no lesser one. It's just potion of healing.
Right. Well, so
Okay.
I'll pull up the whole thing. But potion of healing is just basic potion of healing is the base level.
Okay. Yeah, I have the healing potion, superior potion, healing potion, which ideally we would keep because it's kind of good. And then I guess each of you guys have one.
I have 2 healing potions myself, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's a regular one. There's a regular potion of healing.
Mhm.
And then you have your greater, superior, and supreme.
Oh. Okay. So we have a tier 1 and a tier 3.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got
Okay.
the actual values for you guys.
I mean,
If possible, I'd like to offer everything.
how about we offer just the basics for now?
That's what I mean.
I mean,
Yeah.
are you discussing this
basics.
in character, or is Darien just
Yeah.
holding out 2 potions of healing?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna meander off to the side and be like, and so we can discuss this. Just to clarify our negotiating
Yeah,
strategy.
I'd like to offer the basics.
All of them though, because that's
We might need to
4
hold
total.
a couple of on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what value does a single potion or 2 potions hold to an entire warband?
Pretty valuable if it replaces some of their healing, or if their warriors can just take one on the battlefield without having to wait for the healer.
Hmm.
I mean,
You
did you
guys have
see
other
how our...
potions too, right?
Oh yeah, we got
Like-
other potions. I'm just not sure if they would really want a potion of fire resistance or of gaseous form.
That's fine. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Make sure.
I mean, did you see how her eyes widened at that? She obviously thinks they're valuable.
And I don't want to deceive these people.
I say 4. We give them 4.
How many do we have in total?
4 of the basics. Okay.
2 from me. Darien, how many do you have?
1.
You have
And
1.
And I also have 1, so
You
4
also
in
have
total.
1, so 4 in total.
Darien, how about you ask how many the chart would be worth before we offer a number?
Okay.
Good idea.
I'll turn around and ask Seely. How many for the chart?
She looks at you and goes, do they only heal the minor cuts, or if one of mine is cut through the belly and disemboweled, will it heal them then?
They're still alive. They will recover at least a bit.
Yes. Depending on, as long as they breathe. Yes. Not completely to perfect health at that point, but it will help.
As long as they breathe, they will fight, and that is useful to me. I will need 5.
Actually, I'm gonna pull Darien aside now. to once again go over our negotiating strategy.
Sealy just sighs and just like
Yeah, just
I
clearly,
kind of give her an
Hey.
apologetic look, trying to appeal to the fact that she doesn't like Ignis. Like,
you are trying my patience. We need
I-
to move.
I-
Like you
I-
look
I
around and
understand.
like everyone's like gathered together. All the tents are down. All the camels are packed. Everyone's ready to go. All of them have their veils drawn up and they're just like looking at the group, just waiting.
Let's go!
my
All right,
lord,
all
I
right.
don't know what
We're
else
gonna
to
hit
do.
traffic.
Okay. Here, counter offer 3. If and then she might counter offer 4, and then we take that. Or if she's a hard 5, and there's no other way, then we give them up. But at least make the counter offer.
We can spare 3.
3.
Unfortunately, we still have a ways to go.
Roll persuasion. This is at disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Oh.
Yup.
12. I will take 4. No more, no less.
My lord, I'll hold out my hand.
All right. Then we'll just look aggrieved. Properly put
Yeah.
upon and hand over the one healing potion that I have.
Mm. And I'll hand everything over to Sealy.
How many is that?
4.
4. So you hand over 4 healing potions, so you guys make sure you count those off of your list. And she takes them because you guys pull them from each of your individual pockets, right? Like you have them in your bags. And you pull them out and give them to her, and she takes them and she hands them to a couple of like the people standing next to her. She doesn't want to hold all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And in Hobgoblin Hathol, you hear her pick up and be like, "Give 1 to the druid, 2 to the scouts," and then she like pockets the other one. And
Smart lady.
so yeah, she nods and she then calls out in Hobgoblin. A name. You're not super sure what it means or whatever, but one runs up and she whispers into his ear and he trots off. And she waits and she goes, "Your trot will be fetched for you, as well as your water skins and some rations." The guy comes back. He's trailed by 4 other wearing white. One is carrying a large scroll. The 2 others seem to be weighed down with full water skins. They are carrying 10 total water skins. And one seems to have like a backpack of something. When you open it, you see that it is very similar to the dried rations that you guys already carry. But some of the food looks different to you. You're not necessarily sure what it is, but some of it resembles what you would have had for the dinner the night before. And these are all handed to you.
All right. I think we should split up the water skins. 2, 2, 3, 3.
That works.
So remember, we talked about, I think water skin was a quarter of a gallon or something like that. And you need a gallon a day to be without checks.
That is so harsh.
That's normal human stuff. That's the deal. So yeah, but they give you 10. And it looks like if you take a look in the bag of rations, it seems to be enough for about 3 days for all of you.
Some of the rations that we already have remaining still.
Yeah. I'm actually good on rations personally.
I have 4 because I have to
That's-
split between myself and Balmier.
Oh yeah, I have 16.
I have 7 right now.
All right. I mean, you guys can take the lion's share then, because I have a lot.
Yeah, I have 7 as well.
Stock up, Miara.
I'd like
mean-
to thank Miara, thank Sealy as well.
Yeah, she nods and she goes, "I believe our deal is concluded, though you might want to open that scroll first. I I do not know if you know how to read this.
Sure. Then I'll open it.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of dots. That's all dots across a page, and some of them have scrawling on them in Hobgoblin underneath some of them that are connected together. So yeah, she says to you, "This is a star chart that will lead you to Adis. The ones that are marked here," and she points out a couple of what would be constellations. She points out some of them to you. She goes, "From here, you will go to the spear." She points at something that looks a little bit like a triangle and then has like a straight line drawn next to some of the stars. She goes, "To the twin blades, to the serpent. Adis lies under the buzzard's beak. You will go there. It will take you about 10 days.
Okay.
Okay. And this one is going to last us about 1.5 maybe.
She smiles. She goes, "Underneath each of the constellations, as you follow them, you will find new oases, much similar to the ones that you had cleared. This is the merchant's path. The merchants will walk these, and there is water coming from the ground at each of these locations. Get your bearings at night.
Fantastic.
Follow them in the day. This is for the season of winter, and we are just now approaching it. Should get you where you need to go."
Thank you so much.
May I
Yes,
ask
thank
really
you.
quick, how
great
far
help.
off are we from the first oasis?
Sorry. She looks at you and goes, "1 day to the spear.
One day.
3 days to the twin blades after that." She kind of pulls it away from you and she grabs like a piece of charcoal and she starts marking. And she makes like a slash. She's like 1, and then she does 3 next to the twin blades, 3 next to the serpent, and then buzzards. She makes it 2. All of these are in kind of like interesting scrawl scripts. It's not common, but Hathol, you easily recognize this enough as like, okay, she's making slash marks for how many days that this is.
Okay.
She hands it to you and she goes, "This will also give you the way all the way back to the mountain pass. Again, this is the merchant path. It is further maybe than where we found you if you walked straight from the spine, but there is water."
All right.
Thank
This
you so
is
much.
Wonderful.
We appreciate everything that you've done for us.
She nods, and then she does like this really curt whistle, and the caravan of camels and other hobgoblins begins to move westward. And she goes, "Be safe on your journey. I hope you find what you are looking for, and I hope we all find the dream one day." And she nods again, and she takes off at a trot with some of her scout guards next to her towards the front of the caravan line.
Toodaloo.
All right. I just wanted to make sure I took the black iron equipment off my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was interesting. Shall we be off?
We should leave.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a day's trek to get to the spear.
Hope we don't die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Darien, so fatalistic. There's no mushrooms in the desert.
Well, I wasn't worried about that until now.
Oh, sorry.
You know, we've already killed 1 bullet. There's only like 9 or 10 left, according to what Sealy told us, so...
Because there's also something greater in the sands from what we saw before.
No.
Yeah. So you guys start heading off, I assume, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before you go, a hobgoblin, a shorter one wearing a veil, runs up to you, and takes the veil off. This is Puaba, the one that you had met before that had walked you away from this and had kept you from being killed by a giant sandworm. And she looks at you and goes, "Safe travels. May you find the dream. But here."
Yes, same
And
to
she
you.
hands you what looks to be like a wooden stake. and it has these weird hobgoblin runes on them. Hathol, you recognize them as Mahankit and Danger, essentially. And she goes, if you run into one of the Mahankit, slam this into the ground and then run.
Oh, good. This sounds fun.
She nods, she goes, this is my gift to you. And then she pulls her veil back up, gives a small wave, and takes off.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baba.
Should we really thank her, though? We're apparently marking for pests now that will eat us.
Well,
Anyway,
they
let's
won't
go.
eat us with this, so let's hope anyway.
I guess you're right. I can technically jam it into its mouth.
No, we are running at the first sign of these things. We will slam that in the ground and run.
Unless it tries to eat me, in which case I will slam it into its mouth. We have to be
All
practical
right.
about these things, you know.
Let's be off anyway. We have a long way to
Yes.
go and not a lot of time to reach our destination.
Yes, indeed.
10 days.
10 days until I can find my sister and then get out of this blasted desert.
Onwards.
Let us go.
Yeah. I think at that point, because we are just after 4:30, about an hour and a half into the show, we take our very first break, where you guys head towards the constellation known as the Spear, on your way towards Adis. So we'll take a quick break here. We're gonna make it real fast because, guys, let's get some distance on our days for the desert.
Yeah.
Trying.
I'll tell you what happens in a little bit, but we're going to take a quick break here, about 2 to 3 minutes. We will be right back, guys. Thank you for joining us today on DieFall The Aspects. Be right back.
Okay.
Burb.
Welcome back
Okay.
to DieFall episode 34. We were discussing some various video games that our female counterparts enjoyed to play, and trying to get people to enjoy the hobby with us.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so welcome back. You guys now have a star chart, charting out a way that the merchant caravans end up making it to Adis. The Sun Scouts war party is fading off into the distance, heading westward. The sun is still just barely rising, even as long as it took you guys to get ready. The Hobgoblin Sept was very quick to get ready and move. It is still very early in the morning.
That's super efficient.
Yeah, what would you like to do?
Well, we are
We gotta head for
heading
the
off
spit.
to the spear, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no stars in the sky. So how do you try to figure this out?
Oh, yeah, right. It's daytime.
There's one big dot in the sky.
We're so smart.
Excellent observation, Darien.
The big yellow one's the sun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Passes him his treat.
Okay. I'm gonna put my genius intellect to work. I'm
Please
gonna
do.
take a look at the chart
Uh-huh.
and see if I recognize any of the constellations, and whether or not I had seen them previously, for starters.
Sure. Like you were hoping that maybe you were keeping track some of those nights.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
think I'm gonna help him out on like trying to recall stuff as a natural wilderness survivor.
like okay,
Sure.
so like last night, where was that constellation?
Here's the thing. Look, I know Miara probably would know the place of stars just generally, and they know like some of the elvish constellations, right?
Yeah.
But doesn't
Probably.
necessarily know some of the like the various hobgoblin ones, right? They'd be different.
Right.
But
There might be some
with your
similarities.
combined knowledge, yeah, you could probably figure out where the stars are in the sky this time of year and equate that to what the chart is. Sure.
All right. And
So you
worst
guys
case
wanna
scenario, we lose a
This is-
day.
Yeah. So with Miara's help, this is definitely an intelligence roll.
Awesome.
Perfect.
And it is
Yeah.
at advantage. I am no longer exhausted.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it this way. Miara, are you exhausted in any way?
I have a level 1 exhaustion.
Okay, Miara, roll me a. This is nature. Roll nature or survival, depending on what you want. At disadvantage, DC 12.
D12. Okay. You said nature or survival?
Whichever one's higher.
I'm going with nature.
18. Yeah. So you blow it out of the water. You are definitely, even through your exhaustion, you're able to give help. So Ignis, you can make your intelligence roll at advantage. So it was an 18 nature from Miara to help.
All right. Straight intelligence. Here we go.
19. Yeah. Good thing we had that advantage. Good 19.
Damn.
Just for you guys at home, the reason I made Miara make the check was because she is exhausted, and I wanted to know if she was going to be able to help or not. Yeah. So with a 19, yeah, you guys kind of put it together. I don't know what are some of the elvish constellations, Miara, that you might recognize in a winter sky?
Let's see. At least the ones that Melrius have definitely defined. There is the bow, there's the hammer.
Sure.
And there is the bear.
Yeah.
I think.
So you pointed out, and you're like weirdly enough, like the bear is like at the point of the spear, right? And you're like, oh heck, man, I can totally find. I know where the bear is in the night sky. It's like northeastish from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you figured it out.
Cool.
All
Well,
right.
gentlemen, I think we found our route, and I think we should be able to find our way pretty easily. The head of the spear is actually pretty close to a constellation that I'm familiar with, being the bear. So if we keep heading about northeast, we should be there in about a day.
Yeah.
Dope.
Lead on.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So give me a marching order, guys.
I'm gonna let the elf lead.
I think I'm gonna.
Sure.
I want Hathol to be next to me still, to be able to see if we ever get off course because he's being pulled by Dravani. So if there's ever a point where he feels like we're off course, I want him to be by me at least.
Sure. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
pulling me northeast anyway, so.
Here we go.
Well, so your pull is definitely northwest. We've talked about this before, Hathol.
Oh, I thought it was northeast. Sorry.
This is off track for you. It is north, but it is more east. But I mean, you probably can figure out like this is the merchant path, so it's definitely going to be a little bit more roundabout than just directly to Adis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll
and
take
I'm
the
assuming
front with
Darien and Ignis are next to each other, and then
Yep.
I guess Balmiar are in the back again.
Balmir's probably like as best as he can keeping up with Ignis and Darien at level 2 exhaustion.
Right. So he has half movement speed currently, right?
Yeah.
What's
So-
everyone's exhaustion levels currently? Like, so Miara's 1, Darien is what, 1, Hathol is 1, and Balmir's 2. All right, and
Balmir's
Ignis
at
is
2.
0. Great. Just to know. Okay. Yeah, so you guys head off in a northeasterly direction. Miara and Ignis basically judging themselves. They're like, okay, it's probably like from the horizon line, like 2 clicks this way, right? Like, okay, we're going to shoot for that until it's nighttime, and then we can readjust based on whatever that is. And it should be about a day away, right? Yeah, so you guys progress onwards. Unless there's like this is where we're gonna, because we've talked about this, it's gonna be some days. This is literally just travel. Unless there's stuff that you guys would like to do, I'll have you make very similarly to those of you that might have played on Morningstar. I have you make a couple of checks for the day, and then that just kind of follows through until something happens, right? So for those of you that are like either leading, so Miara, you're doing the basic of leading.
Yep.
So not you, but anyone else that would like to make a perception check. If someone is trying to get the lay of the land or learn something or anything like that, make like an intelligence check. Let me know what you guys want to do for this day. This is one of those days that it's just going to be you're just walking.
I would like to see if the land corresponds to, it being a merchant path, like making sure that it does look at least somewhat well traveled.
Sure, you're more than you can attempt to. I think this is because you're not stopping, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you guys take a short rest at midday, right?
Yeah.
And you want to investigate the area, you're more than welcome to do that. But I think while you're walking, that's definitely a perception check.
Yeah, it'd
Because
be
you're
more
trying
like,
to notice something, right?
yeah, like, hey, do I see some wagon trails or some hoof prints along the way?
Yeah.
It's not the
make
merchant
a
season anymore, and the sands have changed since then, so it will be harder, I think.
If it's well traveled, it could be
Yeah.
noticeable.
It's possible.
Anyway, perception.
It's possible. You can
Not
certainly
a
try.
disadvantage.
Yep, straight perception check for me, please.
I don't notice shit.
No, I don't think it's that. I just don't think either the path that you're currently on doesn't match the merchant path yet. Because remember, you guys are so far off it already,
Yeah.
right? You're taking a day to get back on it, right? Because you never were there. You were just walking straight to the location.
Anus, yeah.
So I don't think you notice anything, Ignis. You don't notice anything out of place that would indicate a wagon or a merchant train. And you're also walking a different direction than the Sun Scouts would have come from, right? They would have come directly from the west. So you just don't notice anything that seems out of place. It's just more desert.
All right.
Okay. What else would you guys like to do? Darien, are you taking a watch anywhere? Hathol, are you looking around? Or
I
what?
attempted to make an intelligence roll. It went
I see that now.
It went well.
Yeah, okay.
I learned nothing.
Well, so Darien, I don't
Lots
know.
of sand.
You're tired, and a lot of it is like, man, I'm lugging around some heavy equipment all the time. I'm exhausted. We haven't had a good rest, and like we had one good rest last night, but like you feel it in your bones, right? Like it's one of those types of exhaustions. But as a good adventurer, you know you're gonna push through. So you're not able to discern differences, I think, from the desert you've traveled before. Nothing indicates to you that like, oh, we're actually further north. It just seems more like endless sand sea, right? Like it's one of those things.
Darien hates sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Yes.
Like the caves all over again. Just get me out of this desert.
Yeah, so, and I think Hathol, you're the last one that would have an option to do something if you'd like to while you're traveling for today.
For today, no, I'll just chat into the party and just making my way.
Yeah, so you guys are just hanging out, maybe getting to know each other a little bit and talking about various things. We don't have to go, unless you want to go full RP with it, because there are a couple days here that you do have, what do you think you guys would talk about?
I'd ask Darien what happened when he
sure,
fell
yeah.
over. What he saw, if anything.
Yeah.
Are we away from the others, or is it just?
I mean, you're in the group, so that is up
as
to
we're
you.
walking, and then if you don't feel comfortable, then I'll try again later.
Yeah, maybe I'll just kind of try to. I'll be like, oh, the usual clutter and voices, and I kind of try and shoot Miera some sort of a look like I'll tell you later, like I'll talk to you later about it.
All right.
Yeah
Sure. Do you talk about the weather? Is it small talk type stuff? Like you're like, man, it's dry out here. Like just.
So
I think it's
how
just nonstop
frequent-
bitching about sand.
Hathol, your experience out in the waste, how frequent do you think that sandstorms are something that we might run across? I'd hate to be whipped up in one and possibly lose our way.
Yeah, sandstorms, what I would say, somewhat random, but you know there are signs to know when one's coming. So you know we can be prepared. The golden rule with the sandstorm is if it's coming, hunker down and don't move.
To know. Ignis, do you think we'll have to hold you down?
Why? I'm below the air currents.
Yeah. So the day progresses on, and the high sun in the air. It again, we're moving towards winter in the desert, so it never gets very hot. You all seem to have ample amounts of water. Do you guys put all of the water skins in the bag of holding, or are you guys carrying them?
No, I figured we were, like I said, just splitting them up.
Yeah, I would be carrying
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, I'm
I think I'm carrying mine. Yeah.
Okay.
Thirsty boy.
Sipping throughout the day.
So yeah, I guess each of you get an extra 2. If Miara carries both for her and Balmir, she has 4. So that's an extra 40 pounds of weight on her body. Well, 20 pounds of weight on her body because they're are they half gallons or quarter? They're quarter gallons.
You said they were
US
quarter.
gallon. They're quarter gallons. So yeah, so it's actually not that much extra weight. You're fine. I was gonna say it was like a gallon of water is 8 pounds. So that's what I was looking at here.
Really?
Did we divide it up 2, 2, 3, 3? Is that how we? said we
Yeah, I
divided
thought
it?
that's what we did.
Yeah.
In
I
which
don't.
case,
Well,
you'd get
okay,
3.
I don't
so
know
I have
who
5.
has. You have
I'll
5.
take 5. I'll take 5 because I have
You have
Balmiar with me.
5 total. Okay, yeah, no, you should be fine. It's just cumbersome.
Yeah.
It's a lot of extra just water bags on your body.
I mean, I wouldn't also
Right.
be surprised if I like split some of this with Balmiar, like had him hold like.
Oh, you like
strapped
you
on
tie it onto
Yeah,
him
it's
or
like-
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Sure.
Like a
I didn't know he had a
I just
little
have it.
backpack for himself.
5, so.
I didn't know he had a little backpack for himself.
It's probably like just like kind of
No, you just, like,
some
strap
of the
it onto
armor.
him.
Yeah, just a little strapped
Sure.
on.
Could we?
Yeah,
could we,
which
could we
for
make a
the-
saddle for Balmiar for Ignis to ride him?
Which
No.
for the
We've already
exhausted-
tried. He's too big.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Just wait. I have plans.
so for the technical part of this,
Yeah.
Tom, any medium-sized creature can only ride a creature that is large or bigger.
Mhm.
Balmiar is considered a medium as well, and Ignis is still considered medium.
Oh, okay.
So medium
Yes.
can't ride
Teeny
medium.
tiny.
Yeah, just wait. Level 6 comes around, you'll
Well,
see.
we've already talked about Ignis actually being on the taller end of gnomes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
So he's
Yeah.
he's a bigger gnome.
Yeah.
Gnomes are classified as small in the book, but because he's
yeah.
taller,
He probably at weight like weighs as much as Balmiar does. So like it's
Yeah.
a lot for Balmiar to do.
They called me Beanpole in school.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, you guys progress through the day. So for those of you that are keeping track of, if you wanted to get all of the water necessary for the day to not have to make a check for the evening, then you would have 4 water skins worth of water. So that is up to you how you decide to do that, but I would like to know how you're handling that. But as the day does come to a close, the night sky does appear. And so for whoever is leading the party, I'd like them to make a survival check, please, to read the star chart and match it against the stars in the sky.
Can I help?
Yeah.
Since I was
yes.
helping,
Okay.
or since we
Ignis.
were working together on it before.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the stars and see what's
Right, so, Miara, are you making the survival check?
I mean,
You probably have the higher survival, but you are currently at disadvantage.
I'm also,
so that's
yeah,
why
I'm
I'm
also at
asking.
disadvantage. Yeah.
That's true. You know what? You're tired. Let me take a look.
All right. I'll still try to help though. So, what should I do to try to help because I am tired? Which should I roll? Because we got to gauge to see if I can help him or if I'm too tired.
Yeah, it's survival again, if
Yeah.
or nature, depending on which one you wanted to do.
I'll do nature because it is higher. So, 12 to help.
Yeah, it's just enough.
Okay.
Cool. So you can make it at
Alright.
advantage.
Yay! Which
Bravo,
is good
we're
'cause my
both
bonus.
wrong.
Or I'm like agreeing with you in chat.
Bravo,
and
no,
like,
we're both
dude,
wrong. I think
I'm done.
I think it might be third. I think you're right.
Wait, what?
I think it is a third. We were talking about create water.
Yeah.
Darian's not a high enough level
Yeah, I
paladin to
can't do
create.
it.
Oh,
If he was a cleric, you guys would have create water. So that would be the deal. But he's not. He's more of a
I
fire
chose
yeah.
class.
a poor decision.
My backup cleric
Yeah.
has create water.
well, let's hope we don't meet a wandering crazy cleric in the desert, because that would mean you're dead. Okay, wait.
So in the chat, don't pack home without a cleric. Yeah, well, you could have told the party that, I don't know, 34 episodes ago.
Hey, we've made it 34 episodes without a cleric.
I want you to know-
Pretty
I want you
fucking
to know
impressive.
that means it's been at least 112 hours of playing this game. You are now
Wow.
officially entering JRPG territory.
Hell yeah, let's
Entering.
do it.
we're entering Xenoblade territory.
Hell
I said
yeah.
JRPG.
No, JRPGs are usually about maybe 40, 50 hours. Xenoblade is on
Persona
another
5 is
level.
100 hours.
Well, okay, Persona games are also the thing, but still. Standard
Xenoblade could be
JRPG,
like 300
40
hours. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
heck, Xenogears. I remember playing
Ignis,
for 80
will
hours
you
the first
please
time.
make
I'm rolling,
a
I'm
survival
rolling.
roll for me, please?
At
At
advantage.
advantage.
There you go.
16.
16. Yeah, it looks like you guys may be headed a little bit east-ish, but you're able to like rewrite your path here. You rolled really well, so like originally, so you're able to do it throughout the day pretty well. So
Dope.
this is up to you. The stars are out. You're more than welcome to rest, or you can attempt to push through.
Could we determine roughly how far away from the oasis we are based on the fact that they said it was about a day away?
It was a day.
How
And
long have
based
you
on
been
it-
walking?
You've been going for the daytime, so it depends on how they measure days.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if you know if they measure them in like, oh, it's 12-hour increments or 24-hour increments.
Yeah. Do I know that? I spent
Hathol,
enough time with
I mean,
them.
yeah, for you, it's like it's a day means like it's a full day because the hobgoblins will push through the evening if they have to.
Okay. So we'd have to walk
'Cause
through
they-
the night.
Yeah, they won't stop unless they have to.
Well, in that case, do we push through or do we stop for now?
You guys think you can keep going?
I don't need sleep, so I can keep going. It's really dependent on you guys and Balmiar as well with his
Yes.
extra
Well-
exhaustion levels.
This is technically better than when we were in the mountain, so I'm up for it.
Darien, can you see okay?
With my handy dandy goggles.
Yeah.
Pops them on. He pulls them out. Pop. Man, we really are a JRPG. He's got the goggles on his head the whole time.
If we keep marching, we can make the oasis by morning, maybe.
And then we can take our rest then. I think that might
rest,
be a good
rest a
idea.
full day if we want to.
I think that might be a good idea. Take our time.
All right.
We need to survive as
Alright.
long as we can if we wish to make it to Adis.
All right.
Let's go. Keep going then.
Yeah, so you guys push through the evening, guided by the stars. The heat of the desert, as much as it is, because it never gets much further above like 75-ish degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, Tom. I kept it up. It's 22 degrees Celsius.
Still
There
warm.
you go, bud. Yeah, it's so. I mean, like that's during the day, so it never gets warmer than that.
Oh, okay.
Just use
'Cause
the
you're-
correct temperature, Tom.
Yeah, freedom units. Damn it.
We do things better in America.
Yes.
freedom
so yeah.
Better.
You guys push through the evening, and for those of you that do have points of exhaustion already, please make Constitution saving throws.
If we have exhaustion already.
Yeah.
Okay.
At disadvantage? No. Normal, right?
No,
Yeah,
just
normal.
well, unless you're level
Unless
3
you're
where you
three.
have
Yeah. No,
disadvantage.
no one's all 3 anymore, so.
Oh,
Tom, can
thankfully.
you take
Oh wait,
the
a
name,
save
please?
or a check?
Save.
Oh, okay, good.
I thought I already ticked the name. What the? Oh, it's because I accidentally shut down the game at one point. That's why.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
So Tom, that's a 18, Darien a 12, Miara 16, Balmiar 13. Yeah, you all pass. It was a DC 10. It's
Oh.
not super hard.
Now we're feeling good.
So you all pass. You won't have like the similar amount of exhaustion for pushing through the evening.
Hathol admires Miara's dancing.
So you push through the evening, and you see what looks to be one of those obelisks quickly approaching you, because they're not super tall, but an obelisk and a what seems to be a small pool of water surrounded by larger stones. It looks to keep away things of entering it. The pool itself is maybe about 10 feet across. Looking towards the center of it, you see that like it extends downwards very quickly.
Wow.
I want to
That's
take a
a
look
nice
at the obelisk. Go and read it.
Yeah. You want to take a look at it? Yeah, it's written in Hobgoblin again. And this one in Hobgoblin and in Common, because this would be both of them for this. does say Caravan's Path on it. And on the underneath it, you see that it is scrawled in Hobgoblin, 2 stones owned.
The 2 stones. How I've missed them.
Yeah, they're all over the place, and you haven't seen them yet. Yeah, so you're
who
more
are
than
the
welcome.
2 stones, Hathol?
Oh yeah, I don't think you've talked about this with them.
The 2 stones are the sept with whom I've spent the most time. I am well known within their sept and on rather good terms with their leader.
Well, good to know if we ever run into them. I'm just going to fill up my water skin as well.
Yeah, so like there's like a small opening between these larger boulders, and it seems to have been like laid with some kind of gravel. Not necessarily from what you've seen, especially Miera having kept an eye out. Darien, because you've been trying to, you'd notice this was like, oh, gravel's like really weird for here, right? Like this shouldn't be stone lined, but it seems to have been lined with some stone. So yeah, it's definitely like a well kept stopping point. So you find between the larger rocks, you're able to move in there, refill your water skins as necessary. So 4 for each of you, I suppose, since that would have been the day's take. And yeah, you're able to rest here.
Can I make a perception check to see if there's any signs of a big scary man?
Yeah, so like in the watering hole, like in between all these large rocks, or like outside of it where you guys are going to camp?
I think specifically we're maybe checking for bones in the water again.
Oh, right. So you're trying to see if if there's still stuff.
Yeah.
So make a perception check for me, please. I believe you're still at disadvantage for that.
Sure.
I'd also like to make a check, but for something different. I want to look and see if there's any evidence of like a burrowing in the sand outside the oasis.
Just outside the immediate area?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna take a look to see
wait,
like what timber I can use to maybe help construct a fire tonight.
Around this area?
Yeah, if there's any.
No, there doesn't seem like, unlike the first one that you were at that had a couple of sparse trees.
There's
This
none
seems to
here.
be it's surrounded by large like boulder sized like stones.
Gotcha.
And then there's just the monolith,
We really shouldn't
the
chop down
obelisk
some
that
of them
sits there.
trees.
Darien, no, I mean, like, from what you've seen, there's no evidence of like a caravan having been destroyed here. There's definitely nothing that resembles what you saw previously.
Okay.
So Chad, that was a 17. Ignis rolled a 13 to see if there's any burrowing in the area around. No, you don't notice any burrowing. There does seem to be like what amount to like bird feet prints, kind of off a little bit of a ways, but like nothing that like indicates that like, oh, there was either a boulette that was around here or something larger.
When you say bird feet, are you talking peregrine-sized or smaller?
Nature check for me.
Okay.
Or ostrich in size.
Yeah.
Nature, which is actually int-based. I know the genus. And kingdom.
They seem to. It looks very similar to what would amount to like a mountain buzzard. It seems similar in size and shape.
All right. Keep an eye out for buzzards. Also, I wasted my crit on a nature roll. Good job.
Wasted.
Well.
Insert absolute random. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are. I assume you probably kind of bed down for the remainder of the evening.
But before
Yeah.
I think we're like settle on people going to sleep, Ignis, you have an alerting spell of some sort, right?
Yeah. You know what? Have I not
It's been some time since you've used that. Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll cast it as a ritual.
I think that would be a good idea in case we run into one of those creatures again. We'll at least be warned ahead of time.
Keeping in mind that the range on this large, given the size of that thing, it wouldn't necessarily alert us until it was right on top of us. But it's better than nothing.
Exactly. My point exactly.
It would also it's much more effective against, say, bandits. But anyway, yes, I will cast it as a ritual.
Yeah, I assume you kind of cast it around where you guys would be camped, right? Because it only has like a 10-foot cube or a 10 to 20-foot cube.
I think it's 10 feet. Pretty sure. Let me see.
Yeah, so it basically encompasses enough for where you guys are sleeping, and then like a small fire in the center.
Oh no, 20 feet.
Yeah, so it encompasses
wow.
enough for you guys sleeping and a small fire in the center.
Yeah, that's actually fairly significant.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
so
we have a fire? Did we have anything to burn? Or
that is up to you. I'm saying what the area is.
We have tumbleweeds that we.
Oh
could
yeah,
burn.
but they won't last long.
Yeah, well, still. Pack rat syndrome wins again.
It's getting cold, and we've talked about this before, where the cold itself, if not handled correctly, will cause you guys to essentially suffer exhaustion for not being able to sleep.
But we have desert snuggies now that we were given by the hobgoblins.
We
can double up on clothing.
What you didn't bargain from the hobgoblins was a
wood.
tent.
Oh,
God
Or wood.
Damn it.
So
Or
you do
wood.
not have shelter of any kind or wood for fire of any kind. So you're still out in the wilderness, the
Dumb
desert
as
here,
a bag of rocks.
with the possibility of freezing to death at night.
Did like huddling together for warmth work for us last time?
It did
did.
seem to function, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
think that's
okay.
That's just
In
to
in
stay
the
huddled.
in the early months of the fall to winter, it seems to function well for you.
Wait, is it still
Okay.
night by the time we reach?
Functions well for me.
Yes, it is. It is
it's
middle of
pushed
the
it.
night when
Okay.
you reach. It is. It would be 4 hours into what your normal long rest would have been.
Okay, cool.
So you're 4 hours
Okay.
into the evening.
So we actually haven't lost that much time. By the time we wake up, it'll be, late morning.
That'd be mid-morning.
Should
Yeah,
be
probably
fine.
like 8 a.m.
Yeah,
8 a.m., 9 a.m.
yeah. Okay.
I'm
I
happy
guess-
to keep watch through the nights because so long as I've had sufficient food and water, I can go the night without rest.
How about
You
without
guys-
warmth?
I can walk around, jumping jacks. Keep the blood flowing.
Gotta keep it peak physical shape. Yeah.
You can certainly try. Yeah.
Gotta get my push-ups.
I mean,
He's a
Go
blade
for
lock,
it.
right? He's a strong boy.
I could just wave my sword around. I've got the green flame spell, so
I think before going to bed, though, we should finish up or drink some more water before going to bed.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
sure.
guys get your fill.
come on, Kimmer, do it.
Um.
Do it.
rations?
Yep. So mark your rations because you would have had that throughout the day.
Yep.
All right, one or two?
Again, the hobgoblin. Well, it's one per day.
Okay.
one per day.
Because it's like 1 pound of food necessary per day or something like that. And each ration amounts to that. But remember, the Hobgoblin Pack provided you enough for 3 days for all of you. That's probably something you want to utilize first because you're not super sure if it lasts forever.
Yeah. I would use that first. Who's holding that, by the way? Is that Ignis holding that, or is
Probably in a bag of holding, like everything else.
yes. How much food was that in terms of like the amount of ration?
What do you mean?
Said it, how many like ration? How many? What's the equivalent in terms of number of rations? If you set
3
it up?
days. So it'd be a ration for each person per day.
So
So 5
12.
times 15. It's 15.
Oh, you're
because-
including the panther. Okay.
yes?
The Panther counts.
He
He is
must
a party
eat.
member.
he eats.
Okay, so
It's not-
15 rations.
not
He eats
It's
gnomes.
gnome. Not rations, it's gnomes.
He can certainly
When
try.
we wake up, Miara, you can go hunt some of those birds that we found the tracks for.
There we go.
Yeah. Get
It's
us
not a bad
get us some
idea.
chicken.
When I wake
Some
up,
desert chicken.
I
Alright,
only need
I wake
4
up-
hours of rest, so
So
When I wake up.
taking 5 away, so we're down to 10 of the kobold rations.
yep.
No,
Kobold.
hobgoblin, sorry.
I'm super glad you didn't tell her to her face that she was a kobold.
We would have died right there.
I'll be honest, there was a couple of times where I thought kobold and said hobgoblin because I took that extra second to think, okay, wait, what are we dealing with again?
Yeah, I'm
My
glad.
memory's kind of crap.
Sure. So the night passes. Hathol, you're taking the watch. Miara, I assume because you only have to sleep 4 hours.
Yeah.
Do you just get up?
4 hours? Yeah, I get up.
Do you just get up when you're done with your trance?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hathol, go ahead and make a perception check for me, please. This is at disadvantage currently.
Okay.
Okay. And then Miara, make a perception check for me, please, for the second 4 hours.
Okay. I see Jack.
No, when you take yours, it's straight roll.
Oh,
so
okay.
we'll take the 7 because you were at 1, and then you would have woken up from your trance with adequate food and water.
I would have no exhaustion.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you would have been. It's still a 7, so it's a 4 and a 7. Chat, just so you guys know. It's very very well rolled. You guys, I don't think it amounts to anything. It's just it's dark. It seems peaceful enough. You don't have a fire. It's cold. Maybe you're a little distracted, and you don't see anything of note or value in the evening. But the night does pass without seemingly any trouble. The expanse of the desert wilderness extends beyond your sight as usual, and it extends forever, and you're not super sure what you should be looking at in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't seem to see anything right now, but to prep for a journey ahead, I think I'm going to take posts on to one of these larger boulders and see if I can hunt down anything that comes by our way over the sky, possibly. Any birds or something.
So now, after your watch is over, right, this is what we're saying, it's in the morning, the rest of the party is going to need to rest at least 4 hours into the morning to be able to take the full rest.
Yep.
But Hathol and Miara, you're up and about, and you're more than welcome to do whatever you need to do. Hathol, go ahead, because during the 4 hours that Miara would have helped you take watch or whatever is definitely enough for you to rest, even though you don't sleep. It is enough for you to rest. So you can remove one of your exhaustion points for that.
Yay, you're no longer exhausted.
Yeah, so both Miara and Hathol right now in the early hours of the morning are no longer exhausted. Miara, yeah, you climb up on a boulder and you start taking a gander. Roll me a perception check.
Cool. All right. Let's see.
Just straight roll.
Oof. Nothing. I can't see anything. There might not
so,
be anything.
So Ignas had mentioned that he saw some buzzard tracks the night before, but you look up in the sky and no, there's not even a cloud in the sky. There is nothing, and it is just empty. Hopefully you took note of those star formations last night at some point.
Yeah.
That you would have been able to guide for the rest of the day, but yeah, the sky is empty.
Yeah. Just based on the chart too, knowing that we headed this direction to get to this constellation, I know to probably get to the next constellation what direction we would need to head, just based on the maps, like north, south, east, west.
Sure.
Already.
Yeah, I mean, you've got it kind of figured out. In the last night beforehand, let's go ahead and say that you'd have made a survival roll to figure it out.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll me a survival.
Would that be a disadvantage because it was the night before the rest?
No, it's fine. Early morning's fine.
Okay.
The gray hours when the
13.
stars still are there. Yeah, you seem to have you look up and you're like, well, that looks very similar to what the twin blades have been described as. I assume it's going to be generally this way. Today it seems that it's just north.
Okay.
Yep.
Is everybody awake right now, or are they?
Yeah. So the morning passes. You spend a couple hours out looking. You're like, man, there's just.
It's nothing.
Well, I wish there was those buzzards around, but you don't seem to find anything. Hathol, do you do anything with the free 4 hours that you have in the morning where everyone's asleep?
First of all, I'm going to make sure that all my water skins are full.
Yeah. You guys would have
do that.
Yeah, you drink from them and then refill them as necessary while you're here. It's definitely not an issue.
So
rest them as much as possible. The little sorcerer's room.
Yeah, I just want to spend some time with my book because I haven't really done much of that.
Sure,
which could relate to why things seem to have been going badly.
So you pop open your book, right? And I think as of right now, because you're just studying it, it's not as much as you're you already have all of your magic power suffused in you. You're just reading to try to reconnect to your aspect, right?
Yeah.
So like the dark black, like mist, like smoke, it floats out a little bit. The pages lazily turn in front of you on their own as they normally do, and you feel that tug, that pull towards the northwest in your chest, and it's almost pounding in its need for you to walk that direction.
Wow. Hathol is really torn at this point because we've been following the pulling for days without finding any water, and now we have like guaranteed water spots.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Father Giovanni.
Decisions.
Giovanni, survive.
But
Yeah, what do you do?
I want to speak. Is Darien up now?
Well, it depends. How long do you can wait for Darien to awake to address him?
So I'll stick with my book reading until Darien is up, and then I want to speak to him.
You read the book, kind of leaned up against the boulder, like as the morning comes, like in the shade of the boulder, the night air becoming warmer as you guys have rested. Miera stands on top of the boulder, maybe crouched down a little bit. The Balmiar is sitting next to her, scanning the skies, and you read the book. And eventually, you guys awake. You wake up Darien and Ignis for the day ahead. So Darien and Ignis are awake now. Hathol, you're more than welcome to talk to Darien or pull him aside or anything.
Yeah, I'll pull Darien aside. Darien, I need to speak with you.
Certainly. What is it?
I'm aware you and I share divine and a faith in the aspects, possibly more so than definitely more so than anyone else in this group. I find myself torn right now. Druvani is calling me and pulling me towards Adis directly. It's the almost now the opposite direction to the directions we have water, and I want to follow her wishes. I want to follow her guidance, but the last few days have been so difficult. I'm afraid to bring it up to the group. I'm seeking your advice.
Could it be perhaps that she is merely marking the location in your mind, and the pull that you are experiencing is just your body acting as though it were a compass, for instance?
At first, that's what I felt like, but now it feels urgent, really, really urgent. I feel like I cannot ignore it.
I mean, if there was a way to ensure our survival by taking a more direct path, I'm sure the group would not be opposed to that. But what would you have us do?
I have no guarantees of survival apart from my experiences over the many decades that I've spent wandering the wastes. I've been here so long and traveled so much by myself. I absolutely know, and I'm absolutely sure that Giovanni has protected me, sustained me, guided me throughout the wastes time and time again. But I fear the party will not, I fear our group will not trust that based on the last few days and how difficult this journey has been so far. If I was to propose to the group that we follow my guidance from Giovanni as a man of faith, as a person with a belief in the aspects, will you back me up?
Oh, God.
Ooh.
I thought when Telltale closed, I'd have to stop making fucking decisions like that.
Oh no! How does he?
Hathol
Oh
Druvasik.
no!
Remember that?
Oh no!
Oh god.
Miara will remember this.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? Oh my god! This is huge, Darien. What do you say? I don't want to rush you, but hey, man.
They rush you in Telltale, so.
Well, no, it's like one of those like week-long decision kind of things. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, give me like 7 days to think this one over.
By the time he decides, we're already there.
Is there a path that we can take by following the star chart that is more direct and would more align with where Giovanni is pulling you?
That I won't know unless we look at the star charts together.
Then we need to reevaluate. Is this something that's going to cause physical harm should you not follow it? Like, is this urgent?
I have never ignored Giovanni's wishes before, so I have no experience of knowing what will happen if I do so now. Perhaps we should speak with the others, consult the star charts, and perhaps there is a compromise to be found.
This urgency, is Giovanni trying to tell you something? What is something happening in Adis that you're sensing? Like, what is the urgency if not a discomfort? Like is it something that's physically hurting you, or is there a message that Giovanni is trying to relay to you? Can you tell?
I don't have specifics as to what could be happening in Adis right now. This is certainly not the time for there to be, hobgoblins in Adis. The rituals, it's the wrong time of year. If we are needed in Adis, then something unusual is happening. And while I would say this pulling is not causing me pain, it's causing me severe discomfort. It is difficult to ignore.
We need to tell the group.
Very well.
And
Let's call them.
will stand with you, but you need to understand that if it means putting the Duke of Erdrick and frankly the rest of my friends in danger, I can't stand with you.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys, you call the rest of the group over?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Miara, Ignis has like, he's poured one out as he does in most mornings now, and pulls the group together. And you
Does
guys
he touch
are.
himself also, or no?
I mean, he does
I
every
am
morning.
Yes.
Always.
I am
I
still
assume-
prepping that spell.
ABT, baby. Always be touching.
That's my new motto in
Oh
life.
my god. My assumption is that Ignis always starts every day a spell level down or a spell slot down because he touches himself in the morning to make sure that disguise self is on his underwear at all points in time.
Yes. Because it worked, damn it.
Jiminy Christmas chat, if that's not a freaking clip by the end of today, I'm going to be so mad at you.
I'm gonna be mad too.
That is an IG clip if I ever heard one.
Am I down to no exhaustion, by the way?
All of you that had 1 point of exhaustion are now at 0. Palmier should be at 1.
Tight.
My
Good boy,
boy.
Palmier.
He's doing okay.
He's
But he
doing
could be
doing
doing
the
better.
work. He's doing the work.
Scratch him under the
Alright.
chin a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. You gather the group together. Ignis has finished the light, the like weird golden light that emits from his pants. Has stopped.
I will never get used to that. I don't care how much money you pay me, how much alcohol I may drink. I will never be used to it.
Well, when you almost get kidnapped by goblins, then you can talk.
I'm not the one who walked away, but that's just me saying that.
Kidnapped.
Oh man.
Oh fuck! There was something I wanted to do before we went to bed. That's fine.
Was it our conversation?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. That's okay.
We got other nights, don't worry.
Well,
Yeah.
there's like 10 nights left, so hey, you could go. You could totally do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you call the group over. Miera and Ignis have this little thing where she's like, "I will never get used to that." And Hathol, yeah, you have the floor. Well, what would you like to say?
Ignas, Miera, I need to suggest something which at first will seem like a very unpopular and unwise option here. I need you to keep an open mind.
I'm listening.
Well, you're not selling it well, but okay.
Hey, I'm just trying to be honest right here, okay?
Oh, we're going to be honest today.
Bullshit's gonna get me nowhere in this situation.
I don't know.
We
You
need-
rolled the right persuasion rolls.
We need to find a more direct route to aid us.
I
Druvani commands it.
am perfectly okay with the route that includes water.
My initial suggestion would be: can we consult the star charts together and perhaps plot a course which will take us via some water, but more directly than the path we've planned so far?
We do not know exactly where water lies, except for underneath where the certain constellations do lie.
And
But the constellations will lead to Adis. So perhaps we could skip a constellation which is too far out of the way and move towards a more direct route.
All right, so let me figure this out for a second right here. I'm gonna try to see if I can play the
Yeah.
smart one for a minute.
Play the smart
Sure,
one.
play the smart one.
We've
Well,
traveled
yeah,
out
try.
We've had a 10-day. We have a 10-day journey ahead of us in order to reach Adis, following this exact route. Am I right by saying that? Is that what they told us?
9
10
days
it's
now,
9
I
days.
think.
It's 9 days.
Exactly.
9.
We've already eliminated 1 day, so that would mean. So we'd probably have what? That's
The markings on the chart says 3 days to Twin Blades, 3 days to Serpent, 2 days to Adis, so 8 total days left.
so
Oh,
8 total
okay.
days remain. So we still would have 8 total days to travel in order to reach Adis in a direct line. And looking at this chart, we have to head north today in order to reach this next land of water, this next oasis.
That's tangentially on the way.
It's along the way, at least on the route of the caravans, and it's the only way that we know safely to get there. Which direction is Druvani pulling you exactly?
Northwest.
Northwest.
Potentially, we would have to skip Twin Blades.
Mm,
So
Hathol
it would-
playing the smart one.
So if we skip Twin Blades and go directly to the next constellation after that,
Mm.
we have to figure out how long it would take us to get there. We have 3 days journey ahead of us, and we need to prepare for it at least. We're here right now.
Mm.
We have to prepare, and we have the rations to make it 10 days. Or 3 days. I'm sorry, we have 3 days of rations.
and less than 3 days of water.
And less than 3 days of water. You still have that stomach.
I do, but it's not ready to be a water skin yet.
We haven't done anything with it yet.
We have not. Also, if I can just bust out the geometry and try and figure out how far it is directly to Ace based on all this.
Sure. You're more than welcome to try.
Absolutely. What would that be, though?
What
As
would
the
oh, you just want to
crow flies.
roll for it?
Well, yeah,
I need to know
wanna,
how you're figuring it out,
using
and then I'll give you a DC.
using geometry, because if it's
Of
3
what?
days, Well, if I'm remembering the days correctly, it's 3 days to the Twin Blades.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, 3
Another-
days to the other oasis, and then 2 more days. So like if it goes north, northeast, northwest, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, northwestish, and then more westish.
Mhm.
Then what then would be about the amount of time needed to go directly to Adis?
It's the Pythagorean
Sure.
theorem.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very close to that.
The thing that I don't remember in reality, but Ignis would probably know.
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's a straight intelligence roll. Does Ignis figure out the stuff?
Actually, would I use my navigator's tools for that, or does that only apply to sea travel?
That is sea travel, and I don't believe you own navigator's tools. You just have
There's
proficiency
proficiency
with
in that.
navigator's
You are
tools.
right. Yes. All right, and you said straight intelligence check?
Yeah.
Okay. Intelligence.
15.
You figure you could probably cut 3 days off total travel.
Okay. So it
So
would be
about 5 days total.
okay. So it would be 5 days total if we went straight there.
Mhm.
We would
What
need
about
enough
going?
food and water to get to 5 days if we were to go directly to Adis from here.
Yeah. What if we went to the Twin Blades Oasis and then cut straight to Adis?
I have a
Wait,
question right now.
you're asking me? You're trying to math that again?
Yeah, I am also trying to math that.
You go to Twin Blades and then you go over.
Yeah.
Adis.
I mean, so it's north 3 days, and then northwest, and then directly west.
Probably cut
You'd
like
probably
a day
cut
off,
a
right?
day. Yeah.
Okay, so then that would end up being
The angle's not as steep. You'd be heading
Right.
just more west than
Right.
north, and it'd cut you a day.
So it end up
So
being
that
for 4 days, 7 days, but only 4 days directly out of the path of an oasis, as opposed to 5 days.
Yes. Here's what I need you, Darien and Hathol, I need you two to do. Ignis and I are not one to really communicate with the aspects, nor do we know how to really convene with them ourselves. I need you two to talk to your aspects, or attempt to reach out to your aspects respectively, and see if they know that if there is an ample supply of food or water if we were to take an alternative route. Because if not, then we cannot afford to take this alternate route.
I will
Yes.
speak with Giovanni.
As much as I'd like to go directly to Adis and my sister, it won't help her if we're all dead.
If we're dead. Do you think you two can do that for me?
I
I
can
can.
certainly try. Yes.
You definitely can. Sure. Yeah, you guys, I mean, you want to take the time out of your late morning, right, to do this thing?
Sure. I will be okay with that.
Darien,
Hmm.
how do you attempt to contact Alis?
Well, I whip my dick out.
Jack it real slow, right? Yeah.
Put on some smooth jazz.
Is there? So remind me what this oasis looks like. Is there like a tree, like a shady area? No.
No, there are large boulders that surround a smaller, like definitely manually hobgoblin made like
Yeah.
gravel basin
Right.
for this water spring. They have seemingly built this.
Okay. I'll sit near the water and just kind of try to center myself
Mm-hmm.
and just sit there and
See what happens.
zero in on try to picture. Maybe Darien looks at the water, visualizing the
Yeah, her realm.
waters and is in his vision and in her realm.
Roll me a religion check.
Oh, here I go. Trying to make it normal instead of disadvantage.
Oh, here I go, religion again.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
17.
I'm good at God.
Yeah, you find your center, and upon your meditation, you're trying to find Ayla, some kind of guidance, some kind of whatever. You're trying to reach your aspect, get past Karis, who has been plaguing your dreams and your prayers and everything. But all you hear is a rattling, just a rattling, like dice in a palm. And it's just over and over, and eventually you just see die rolling in your head.
Oh no.
And that's it. That's all you can find.
Fuck.
Well, I don't want to go that way.
Take a chance, why don't you?
You do not have answers, but that's what you find. The knot of emotions in the back of your head from the dwarf interrupts your reverie in looking at this, and he doesn't say anything, but you feel a weight, an ample amount of concern, and fear even from the dwarven king.
Okay.
Hathol, how do you attempt to contact Druvani?
Yeah, so I'll walk just a short distance from the group, but I'm not really looking for a specific location. And I'm basically gonna go full like trance mode, like I have before, with book open, like scooping handfuls of the black smoke and like covering myself in it, and like really, really going for it.
Sure. Yeah. Roll me a religion check.
God, I hate rolling stuff at the minute. I have zero faith in this.
You need a lot of faith.
You need faith for religion, dude.
And that's why. That's fucking why. It's been like 3 weeks of this shit.
Yeah. And I think
That's normal.
because of this, you don't feel her. A lot of times when you find your time to center yourself, to study the book, to realign the needs of your goddess with what you need to be doing, it makes sense. Your life makes sense. But for whatever reason, when meeting this group in the last 6 days you've spent in the desert, it's the only piece that you feel like she's given you is that anchor that's pulling you towards Adis. You do not find any new revelation here. All you feel, and I think it's distracting you. I think this is what happens to Hathol. He sits down and he attempts to contact his goddess, but all he feels is that pull. It's this incessant, this need, this just, it's like having a hook directly into your brain, dragging you to a certain direction. And every second that you try to fight away from it, it hurts more.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the group, or at least back to, I'm guessing, Miera and Ignas. I don't know how long this took, really.
I mean, I think I'd just be waiting by Darien, waiting for him to wake up. Because I wouldn't really have that much faith in Hathol, but
super long. It takes about as much time as casting a ritual spell. So it's about 10 minutes of finding a quiet area, a space, and centering yourself and becoming meditative to try to reach an entity that is beyond the realm that you currently are in, right? So it doesn't take super long.
All right.
Okay.
So then when he comes out of it, I'll just ask Darien, well, anything?
The aspects are with us.
Okay. Good ones? Karis? I mean, help me out here.
Oh.
We should follow the star chart, shouldn't we?
Hathol back too? Or is
They went off simultaneously.
okay.
Just, are they watching us now? Just blink twice for yes.
I believe fate is with us.
Shut up.
Oh, God, no. Oh,
My
no,
lord,
we're following the star chart. Yes.
No, my lord,
So-
my lord. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's just a chance.
Yeah, but it's an equal chance that we die.
I don't know if this idea I'm thinking of now will work. But
Do you,
Not
do you
banana
want me to
head.
tell you if it'll work?
look. I need you and Hathol to try to send me into the divine realm of some kind. To contact the divine realm. I don't know who and I don't care who. We need definitive answers of whether or not we're going to be able to survive out here if we want to try to live.
Miara, with all due respect, the divines are a little more complex than that. If it were that easy, everybody would be asking before
Yeah.
they.
I don't feel I can send you to Drovani.
I don't care who you try to send me to or whatnot. We need answers before we make out this journey. Maybe I'll reach somebody of my own who's guiding me. I don't know. I think if the two of you work together, we might be able to get some sort of answers. And I think it would be easier if we channeled it to someone other than one of yourselves. Something seems to be blocking your own answers.
I feel I have the only answer that I need. Right now, Drovani is silent apart from the constant pulling towards Adis. It's come to a point for me where I feel I can know it. I will be following the guidance from Drovani regardless. If there's some way I can convince you to join me, then I will do what it takes.
Just from hearing what Darien has said, I don't have anything to do with that. Rather, just follow the chart.
I will attempt to help
we-
you contact an aspect, but I don't know how to do it. This is new territory for me as well as you.
So, out of character question, didn't Darien try and beam up Ignis when we were at the war camp? I vaguely remember it was something like that.
No, it was Darien was attempting to contact his goddess to help you.
Okay.
It was still there's not been a beaming up of literally of any kind. It's all been like a very your spirit is ripped from your body and placed into a certain plane for a moment. And that moment is instantaneous on the mortal realm, but lasts however long that meeting lasts with whatever aspect you happen to have fallen upon. With Darien, there's been many because his roles have been all over the fucking place. So it's been an entertaining ride for him.
Poor
But no,
I
Darien.
don't know what to think ever.
None of you have actually physically met any aspects or any of their agents except for the newborn chosen of Karis in the previous season. That is the only quote-unquote divine creature you have actually met.
I was considering trading away that hide to her and being like, "We got this off a divine thing." But yeah. All right. If you want to try it, you can. But right now, there is no way I am off in the desert. I would rather follow the chart that we traded away our very valuable healing potions for.
Miara,
Yes.
I am willing to allow you to attempt something that I've never allowed anyone to do before. I will allow you to touch my book. If you wish to attempt to read my book and gain some kind of connection with the divine, I will allow you to do so.
I'll just whisper to
Weirdly
Darien.
sexual.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna whisper to Darien. Thank the gods he said book.
I will elbow Ignis.
I'm gonna look over to Darien and see if he has a reassuring look and see if this is a good idea.
Darien can't hide how worried he is about this.
Will you help?
Who are you asking?
Darien. I'm
Oh.
staring right at him. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
What connection do you have to the divines, Miara? You can't just all of a sudden one day decide.
I don't know, and it's
I've devoted years of my life to this. It's not just a switch you can turn on and off.
if we don't try, we will die out here. If you don't want to help, I understand. It would just be easier if you were there with me.
I'll try to help. I just... Sure. What do you need?
Well, I want you guys to try to support the best that you can, aid me in trying to contact the divine. So I think I'm going to go over to Hathol and say to him, I'm ready to take my chance whenever you are.
Then we should waste no time.
What's the setup?
So I will remove the book from its chain
Oh, shit.
and place it on the ground.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Miara,
Yeah.
I have no idea what will unfold when we begin this. Open the book.
Miara will take probably one of the deepest breaths that she's ever taken in her life. If I do not come back, take care of Balmiar for me. And I will open the book.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Wow.
The party watches as Miara approaches the book slowly, it lying on the ground off of its golden chain that Hathol always keeps it strapped to, and she touches it and attempts to open it. Black mist and smoke comes pouring out of it, encasing her very similarly to the encasing of armor that Hathol occasionally summons from it. And she becomes frozen inside of it, unmoving. The book frozen in her grasp. Miara,
Mm-hmm.
you feel a weight on your mind. An entire crushing of your being. You reduce to nothing. You feel nothing. And you feel empty. And you lose who you are as yourself. Time passes. The party watches as Miara is encased in a black ice. What do you do?
I'm gonna immediately ask Hathol, is that normal?
Nothing about this situation is normal, Ignas. You should have figured that out by now.
How am I supposed to know? I don't know anything about your aspect.
You don't know
Okay,
anything
can we
about
get-
anything.
I know plenty about science. Can we get her out?
We should not interfere.
Okay, for how long? Because if she
Be
can't get
patient.
air in there, then 2 or 3 minutes, and I mean,
You think on such a physical plane, Ignas. Miara wanted to contact the divine. For all we know, that's exactly what's happening inside that block of ice.
At that point in time, we cut back. We get that nice hard cut directly to Miara. Miara floating in blackness, in darkness, cold, shivering, pale. And somehow, apparently wet, her red locks just lie flat against her face, water droplets on her, coming into black icicles on her face and body. Darkness, cold, nothing. She is still encased in ice. What do you want to do?
how long has it been?
Since your conversation, it's roughly been 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Okay. The body can't survive without air for 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes tops.
Is
Hey,
Ignis
Adonis.
saying this out loud?
Yes, I'm pontificating.
My lord. Hathol is right. You're thinking literally, and I understand it's scientific. Just have a little faith.
I understand, but if we
I
get
don't.
past-
The aspects don't. The divine doesn't work literally. It doesn't
So-
work.
after 10 minutes of no air, there won't be brain damage?
Just
I'll take your word for it.
trust
I'll take your
me.
word for it.
So you wait.
All right. I'll wait, but you
And
know what?
you
I'm
wait.
getting that firebomb ready.
And you wait. We watch like the sun pass in the sky. How long would you wait before doing something?
Ah. um.
I mean, you're more than welcome to investigate the situation as well if you need more knowledge or
what?
information about what's happening. But
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because
As
you
a
don't have a whole
scientist-
lot right now.
Yeah. As a scientist, I'm going to start conducting experiments around the 5-minute mark.
5 minutes pass. What do you do?
I am going to toss a copper coin at it to see what happens when inanimate objects interact
You
with
toss a copper coin at the now what seemed like the book itself, though encased in the ice, it's still pouring out this black mist and smoke encasing Miara's body. It becomes thicker and thicker as the minutes pass. It bounces off a 6-inch layer of ice around her body.
it. Okay. And what's well,
look
Miara's
at
not here to
Ignis.
stop me.
Frustrated. Like, dude.
Yeah, you watch him toss a copper coin against the body. Miara, frozen in time, looking at the open pages of a book.
I need to see what will happen and if it'll trap me too.
I would rather we not risk that.
Right, that's why I'm tossing the coin first. Then we try live subjects. Balmiar? I mean,
What
Miara's
happens
not
at-
around to tell me no.
What happens at the 15-minute mark?
You wait for 15 minutes.
Yep.
The ice has continued building. The book itself doesn't seem to have any more ice around it. It seems to have stopped at a 6-inch mark for the book. The rest of
Okay.
her body, though, continually builds up and up around her.
Okay, while this may not be normal, Hathol, is this expected? Is there a time limit? What do you know about this?
What I mean, from all my years of reading the book, DM, like, is there anything I can recall that might?
Make a religion check for me.
Like, should we have tried to bust her out of that 5 minutes ago?
Not again.
Oh,
I swear, if you crit this
God.
now.
I'm kind of surprised you don't have a bonus to your religion roll.
Oh my god.
Wow. If ever anyone needed a crit.
Yeah.
We could have got
What do you
that,
understand
like,
about
one
this?
more-
Have you ever handed your book to someone?
No, never. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only one who's ever touched it.
Sorry, ignore that.
No, this is different and it's weird.
Hmm.
You're not super sure. But knowing your goddess and knowing that because you would have given the book away, it should mean something else than someone trying to take it from you.
Yeah.
It's at this point in time that you notice that the hook in your chest has shifted. It draws you to the book.
I'm gonna just like place my hands on the ice that's surrounding the book specifically, and just feel it and see what like it feels like, or if it reacts to me in any way.
Oh, he gets to touch the ice, but I can't?
It's his book.
My book.
Hathol
No, I'm saying
approaches
that's
the ice.
Darien.
Hathol, you feel that biting cold. You're somewhat attuned to it, knowing that occasionally you wrap yourself in it for protection. But as you approach the book and you look down at it, and you reach out your hand and maybe you cup behind Miera's to see where she had opened up, what she had looked at, and how she had looked down. Your eyes lock onto the page. And then we get that nice cinematic hard cut to Miera, again, floating in blackness, darkness, cold, shivering, holding herself together. Breath coming out in mist and cold. Miera, would you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please? You're shivering.
Couldn't
You're
have got that
cold.
before.
But you have resolve. You feel you're still alive. Whatever you've done has changed where you are, but you live, you breathe, and it is painful and cold. But you live. What would you like to do?
I'd like to see if I can say something while here.
Sure.
I want to try to say hello.
Through chattered teeth and cold breath, Miera attempts to contact through the darkness anything or anyone. Hello. You hear nothing. There is just deafening silence, except for you shivering and the chattering of your own teeth.
Well, I'm not dead. I don't quite feel alive either. Maybe I wasn't ready to come here yet. I need answers. We need answers. I just want to see them alive.
We get that ending of a sentence and we come back out to Hathol, eyes having rolled back into your head as you cradle the book in its encased ice, and you fall into a blackness, leaning on the iced form of Miera. The rest of the party noticing that the frost now falls upon Hathol himself as he holds the book underneath Miera.
Okay, Darien, we're not going to touch it, but I think you should be ready to smash some ice.
I ask Hathol, do you feel her?
Hathol, you don't hear anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't expect to be able to hear.
Hathol!
Hathol?
Hathol!
You notice now that the dark ice is building up on his body as well.
Oh boy.
Am I like conscious at this point? Or
Get there.
Okay.
As of right now, you don't hear anything. It's one of those moments where you know where you center yourself to find your Vani on your own. You're entering one of those trances. So you don't hear anything external.
Darien, is there any way you could get me in there without the ice? Or get yourself in there? Just trance or beam yourself in there?
I don't make a habit of meddling intentionally in the business of other aspects.
True, but at this point, it's just us. What else is there if we're not going to smash the ice open?
You're thinking, again, in the physical sense. The ice is just a physical manifestation of what's going on, but even if we could physically break the ice in itself is not the aspect's presence on the situation. I mean, if it were that simple, there'd be no risk. There'd be no, like, I'm not sure how else to convey this to you, Ignas.
Then, if we can't break it, and, well, what you're saying is that breaking it would have no effect, that they would still be trapped.
Possibly. I'm not an aspect.
No, that's a bad idea.
If you
When
can
has that
figure that out for
ever
yourself,
stopped you before?
then you're probably right.
Well, true. I was just thinking, what if I touched the chorus hole?
No.
The car's hole.
Don't finger your hole.
Why do I play games with you?
My poor Christian stream.
Not in my Christian server.
Oh yeah, it was like Timmy said, just the tip. Oh god.
No.
Or as Archer said, just the tip. But I mean, maybe it would let them fight it out. I don't know. I don't know how any of this works. When everyone
Well, then
else is going
stop
to church, I went to
meddling in
school.
it if you don't know how it works.
But I'm a scientist. That's how I find out how things work, by tinkering with them.
In the middle of the argument that Darien and Ignas have, we come back and we find Hathol. Hathol in a darkened sky. Lightning cracks above him. A red sun, blood red and almost dripping. The dark, stony ground beneath him. Desolation around him. And a small woman standing in front of him. She is short, long, black hair, tied back. Is long ears, darker skin, almost black, red eyes, piercing and almost purple with how dark they are. She wears nothing but a dark black robe, and she looks up at Hathol. Hathol, what would you like to do?
I'm so scared right now.
Me too, dude.
That wasn't even in character.
You made some interesting decisions today. Let's see how they work.
It's a bold move, cut.
Let's see if it pays off.
Mistress, is that you?
Her eyes blink somewhat, and it's like charcoal closing over a fire and reopening. She looks up at you and says, "Yes, it's always been me. What do you need, servant?"
I'm just gonna fall to my knees at this point. Like,
Sure.
I don't, I don't even know how to interact with this being now.
Yeah. Now, as you fall to your knees, you're about her height, and she looks basically directly and says, well, that's better. What can I do for you, servant? Why do you lie in my home?
I assumed you brought me here.
I did no such thing.
I've been seeking you for days now. I've heard nothing.
I felt your call, and I gave you what you needed. What is the issue?
The issue is convincing my friends to trust you.
Trust. Trust and destruction. That is a curious ask, I think, servant. How do you think they would trust in us and in me?
I was hoping that you would give some clearly visible sign for them to believe in you, as I do.
Every mortal always wants some clearly visible sign from something up above.
I need no
Faith
sign.
is an important marker. You ask and you receive, and you're not able to convince some followers of yours that I am worth following? I know I'm not one of my brothers or sisters. Something to be admired, followed, bowed to. I am the end of all. They can't have a little bit of faith in what I provide for you.
Some of them have no faith. Some of them have had
None.
no reason to have faith. I feel like it was my job to help them to find faith.
Do you want my hand on these non-believers?
I want your hand to help these non-believers become believers.
She pauses for a moment. Her eyes close. You see them flutter a little bit, as if you were watching someone who was dreaming heavily. And after a moment, her eyes open again, and she goes, "One is beyond saving. The other is not mine. It's been claimed. My brother. What did you do?"
I don't know.
Is it bad now? I'm trying to figure out who is who in the
I
situation.
just, what about the third?
The third
I'm
that
aware.
you travel with.
I am aware of one who is beyond saving. Trust me, I've tried.
The third is the cause for a battle up here in the realm.
Why the
He-
cause?
Well,
And
he
he.
decided to claim one and then beat another in a game. And so they fight for his soul. Normally, one such as he wouldn't be worth much, but having struck down a chosen of one of our sisters, it's too much to pass up. It's quite the trophy up here.
Your politics confuse me, my lady.
My politics don't concern you, but you ask and so I answer. Now, what do you need?
I need to go back. I need my party to be fully restored, and I need us to get to Adis as quickly as possible. I feel that was your desire all.
I have given you the route to Adis. Whether or not you get there now, or 2 weeks from now, or a year from now does not matter to me, as long as you reclaim what I want.
Is there any reason for me to hurry to Adis in that case?
Only because you want to serve your goddess.
But you said that matters not to you.
You want to serve me?
I have served you faithfully
Claim what
for my
I
entire
want.
life.
If it's now, or if it's tomorrow, or a month from now, then that is fine. If it is ever in the wrong hands, then I will call upon you, and you must move then, and quickly, and reclaim it. As of now, the relic lies in no one's hands, but it comes close. It's become the object of some import up here. It's lied dormant long enough for the creation of the waste. But my brothers and sisters are moving towards it, and quickly. Relek has called his forces out of season, it would seem, for what we normally are used to. And his creatures move closer to the relic. I need you to get there before him. With that in our hands, you and me, we can claim all of the North. Doesn't that sound fun?
Oh, yes. Allow me to ask you for one more thing.
What is it, servant?
In order to help me convince this party that we should move faster in our quest, help me to understand that I can relay information to my party, my friends. Tell me, is the Lady Tassia in Adis, and is she in danger right now?
Tassia? She looks off a little bit. The roiling blood red sun kind of you actually see a sunspot explode off the surface of it. Tassia? And she looks back over at you. It is a wonder that you ended up here in the first place. You have been a faithful follower of mine, but I have never had need of you here. Tassia. A little lady from a small city in the north of a mountain range that shouldn't exist? She lives. She in Adis? I, alone, pursued. Ever deeper into the caverns she goes, running, hiding, always pursued by the agents of chaos. You have interest in her more than interest in me?
Not I, but my companions.
Companions. One, a torrent, a battle. The other, a non-believer, faithful in only himself. And the third, claimed by my brother, and yet he never makes his move. He's shown interest for months now, and yet has waited. Yeah, your companions. Why did you choose these?
I have sought the relic for my entire adult life and feel no closer to finding it now than I did decades ago. I believe this group is my best chance at finding the relic and finding it quickly. It's why I wish to convince them to put faith in you and follow your guidance.
It is useful to have things die before you, isn't it? Fine. Your current companions are acceptable. You'll find that relic for me, won't you?
Of course.
Good. Fine, I will let my brother know of the predicament that you are all in. You let her touch the book, didn't you?
Maybe.
You sorry sack of scum. A divine relic given to you from me when you were a child, and you let some elf girl Hold it! You will serve penance for this. In this life or the next, I will claim it. Hold the book. I gave that to you and you alone. I tore you out of that despicable little village. I gave you purpose. Give it to her so freely?
I gave nothing freely. I felt like it was a last resort.
She asked, last resort of what? I gave you where you needed to go. I provided what you needed. You could go without them.
She
No,
was
I would
looking.
help you.
She was looking to contact the divine. She wanted to commune with an aspect. Would you turn away another follower?
I will try. She is not one of mine, but I will try. She could be. She is a fiery one. Useful. Strong. Deadly. Don't ever let her get too close to you. Those blades find their mark more often than not. To be honest, I like her. She's not maybe my type, but you know us. We'll take whoever will follow. Fine. I will reach out to her. If it doesn't go so well, maybe we let the ice crush her.
I beg of you, do not let that happen. She can be saved.
Saved. We shall see. She snaps her fingers, and the world goes black to you. The ice around Hathol shatters. Darien and Ignis, you're pelted with icicles. Please make dexterity saving throws.
Oh boy.
Oh no! The 11. No.
Fucking Monster Hunter dodge roll that shit.
Just
Ignis
make-
rolls a 20. Darien rolls a 11. Darien, you're going to take 1d4 worth of damage.
And
You don't get your
does it-
shield up in time because it's on your back, and it pelts you across the face, giving you nice little black ice cuts. Hathol, you come pouring out of the shattered ice onto your knees, panting and wheezing.
I run over to Hathol. Wait, did both of them come out or just Hathol?
Just Hathol.
Oh, good. I run over to him. Hathol, what the hell happened?
Oh, Drovani is mad.
Oh, good.
Really?
Mad
don't
with
say.
mad with me.
I
Should never have let her touch the book.
I'm shocked, sir. Shocked.
I said that the divines are not at our beck and call.
Miara
Even
is
I know
alive.
that much. She lives.
She lives. And she speaks with Drovani right now.
All right.
But
I
at that moment,
her
we-
fate
we-
is in her own hands.
We get the hard cut. It's been so cold for so long. An eternity has passed. Or what you assume to be one. Floating in an empty darkness. You blink. You find yourself looking up at a canopy of oak leaves. A soft breeze blows across you. The ice no longer coats your body. Lying on a bed of leaves and dirt and grass. And you look up to a bright blue sky.
Where am I? Hello. Is anyone there?
There is no answer. Only the swaying of the leaves in the trees.
Can I get up at this moment?
Sure.
I'm gonna make my way over closer to the trees.
Yeah, you find an ancient oak. And you go and you lean upon it after you stand, resting heavily, breathing heavily, but finally a little warmer. The crushing cold that you had experienced for what felt like forever has fallen away from you. You blink again, and a small woman stands in front of you. Dark, black robes, eyes red, black hair tied back. And she looks up at you. I've heard you might be in need of a patron of sorts. Miera, the fiery-haired elf.
Hello. Yes, I'm seeking answers. I wish to keep myself and my compatriots alive and well on our way to.
Oh, hush. We've already discussed this. Hathol is an idiot. Giving you the book. What was he thinking? I'd like to claim you as one of my own. My name is Druvani. The aspect of destruction, well, I mean, many other things, but I do specialize very specifically in destruction. You seem useful to me. Now, one of my kin has decided that he wants you to be his, but currently you're holding my book in the middle of a desert, encased in ice, where I can crush you. I think you don't have much of a choice in this matter. I wish our meeting was on much different terms, but Hathol didn't take you to a shrine. He didn't give you any of the guidance that would have been necessary as a priest of one of mine, but handed you a book of power, and now you hold it, so now you have a choice. You pledge your life to me, and me alone, or I crush your body, and your physical form is lost forever.
Before I answer, these trees belong to you?
She looks around. No, would never have something so ostentatious, so green. No, these are not mine. But currently, you are in a bit of a limbo. I suggest you make your decisions wisely.
If I was to follow you, what would you have me do?
I would have you do what I'm having Hathol do. There's an artifact that lies within the desert, the waste, as you so quaintly call it. I need it before my brother Chaos gets a hold of it. You will get it for me, won't you?
If I gather this artifact and hand it to you, with the aid of Hathol and the rest of my party,
Yes, yes.
I need to know if I will meet who I meant to meet in this plane.
No, 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 no. You pledged to me, and then you only meet me. That's all you will ever need ever again.
You really drive a hard bargain, don't you?
Well, Your idiot friend decided to hand you an object of power beyond even his own understanding, so yes, I'm going to drive whatever bargain I need, because you seem to need your own physical body still, mortal.
And to also be fair, you need my physical body in order to help retrieve the artifact, do you not?
No. I am giving you a choice. I don't need you. I have Hathol. Have you met him? Idiot that he is, he's a powerful one. Destruction through his very core. Anything that stands in his way on the way to that artifact will die. I am sure of it. But I'm giving you an option. Die on the mortal realm. Give your soul to me. Become one of mine. And live.
I grow curious as to why Hathol hasn't killed us already, considering we've taken him off at the path.
I don't always watch what Hathol is doing. I'm a goddess. I have many things to look over. You think that your small little continent of Eladin is the only thing that exists in this world that we look over? No, this artifact is useful to me. I want it. You will get it for me, or you will die. I think at that moment, a lightning strike happens, cracks across the blue sky, empty as it is, and hits Druvani directly into the chest, sending her backwards hundreds of feet. Very Dragon Ball Z-esque through trees, fauna, mountains, etc.
Shit!
And we just get a voice. No. This one is mine. And walking out from where you're leaning against the oak from the right-hand side is a blue hooded, completely, his face blank, man holding a longbow. Another lightning cracked across the bowstring, aimed directly over at Druvani. Druvani, hundreds of feet away now, through trees, fauna, whatever, gets up, looks over and says, I thought I had more time. Well, I'll just kill her anyway. And she snaps herself out of existence. The blue-hooded, large man, taller than you by about 3 times, blue-hooded, long bow in hand. The lightning fades as the bowstring collapses. You notice now that there are wolves at his feet, all of them of your size and or bigger, but wandering around him. And he approaches you and extends a hand, covered in a blue glove. The rest of his body is in browns and grays and greens, matching the forest around you. And he extends his hand to you as you huddle against this oak tree of his. And he looks to you and goes, well, you found one of my favorites. It has taken you a long time to come here. Miera Stonewall. Do not mind my sister. In my realm, I see all. And you decided against what she needed. That is all I need. I will return you. The answers you seek, you already have. The desert is nothing for you and yours. You don't need to be there now, tomorrow, or whenever. Do not let Druvani drive you. She's a petulant child, as many of my brothers and sisters are. Do not worry. I will be there. I do not take hand as many as some of my others do. I like to ride the winds and the storms above. Just know, you are blessed. Maybe not as actively as some of your companions. I did not need to make myself known until you had proven yourself against the Chosen. Quite the battle you had there, selflessly to yourself as well. Good. I like that. Stay on your hunt. You will not falter or fail. I will make sure of that. And he kind of retracts his hand and moves away. The whole world fades out of existence around you, falling into blackness. Darien, Ignas, and Hathol. A lightning bolt falls out of the blue sky above you and slams into the ice block that is Miera and the book, shattering it completely. Please make dexterity saving throws once again as the ice shatters around you.
Jeez.
Oh, I should probably make one for Balmiar too, shouldn't I?
Wow.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I ran
make
out of
another one
stamina
from the
there.
previous. So
Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah, okay. So Balmiar takes the original 3.
yeah.
And you all fail the next one. The ice blocks are larger here, so it's going to be a 2d4. Yeah, I rolled double ones, so 2 damage.
Okay.
So congratulations. Those of you that failed to save, which is all of you, you all take an additional 2 damage. And Miara collapses to the ground, breathing heavily at the base of the oasis.
I run over
Good
to her immediately and see if she's harmed at all.
And I'll just wildly look up at this guy. Good gods, was that lightning?
Yes.
It's a clear day.
One
Are
is
you
why he
hurt?
missed his
What
dodgeball,
happened?
by the way.
bound to the physical.
I don't know his name. I met Druvani. But she was struck and attacked. Fended off
What?
by someone large with blue and
Someone
brown.
large.
He struck down by lightning and shot it's what seemed to be lightning from his bow and
Nos.
Nos.
Joel, is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, that's good.
Tight.
That tracks with what I've read about the aspects.
You've read anything about the aspects?
I read everything about everything. Knowledge is power.
Nos told me that we have what we need in order to get to where we need to go alive. He told me not to trust Druvani, and I know, Hathol, that is hard for you to hear. But she also told me that all you just needed to do one thing. And one thing alone. And it almost seemed like she didn't care when. Just before chaos did.
That has been my goal for so long now.
You'll have to forgive me. This is a whole new experience. I don't know how to take it all in.
I think we've already proceeded much past our normal time, but I think we leave
Yeah.
a week for Miara to take in whatever she needs to and to discuss whatever is necessary. That was a little out of what was expected, I think, for our travels today, but I think it was good. It was interesting. Let's briefly go through our goals today.
Holy shit.
Group goals: find and rescue Lady Tasir. Secure supply of water sufficient to reach Adis alive. So this happened, right? But
Yeah.
you guys are also talking about not utilizing it.
Well,
So it has been secured, as far as you know. So I believe every one of you receive 500 experience for this current goal.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Additionally, Kimma makes a very good note. All of you, please mark your inspiration blocks. That was awesome. I love it. Great job. Yeah, that was some really good RP. And then the last one is cure Ignis of the effects of Kars's curse. All right, so I assume those are all remaining.
Yeah.
Ignis, find your father, return to Earl Reese camp with Tassir, and reach Adis. Those are all still pending.
Yeah. We're getting there, though.
Miara, find out more about the aspects. Is there one guiding her? Yeah, it turns out, there probably is. I don't know how to award this just yet off the top of my head because you know who it is. Difficulty of that thing, you made the con saves. Take another 500. 10 times or 100 times your level. Go ahead and take that.
Right, there it is.
Okay, so you know that now, so I'm removing that from your block here.
As
You
am I.
can decide on that for next week. To familiarize yourself with the desert terrain. You have the star chart now, which is helpful. I don't believe that applies specifically to the desert, as well as it applies to where you're just going. The desert terrain, I think, is a little different than what you're looking at.
Right.
Get the party to fully recover from exhaustion. Balmir technically has 1 point of exhaustion still.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving that.
Yep, that's what I would
Is that
leave
all right?
too. Yep.
Okay. Darien, familiarize yourself with the desert terrain. Ongoing. Did not roll so hot for that.
Nope.
So we'll keep that in mind.
I certainly
keep
tried.
Ignis from dying in the desert. Ensure his survival. I don't think anything was actively done to make that happen. So we can leave that if you'd like. Find a way to communicate with Darren Silvernail. You did not find a way to communicate with Darren, but you did there was an inadvertent effort in experiencing a life that was Darren Silvernail's. Take 100 experience points.
Thanks, dog.
You also maintained one of the artifacts of his that he would want. So yeah, well-deserved 100. Hathol, safely escort the party to Adis. In work, buddy, in work. Get the party to fully recover from exhaustion. You got 1 point left. Renew confidence in party in guidance by Druvani. Now, I don't know how this fell out.
Jesus Christ.
I think this might be something that we address in the next episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's all very much what comes out of the conversation that we have Miara then. And I think that's something that we can hold on to for right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that is good enough for us tonight. Let's wrap up the show and do some shout outs here. Rel, where can the people find you at?
Oh my god. When I'm not trying to keep my party on the path of intelligence and not blind faith, playing Ignas Erdrick, you can find me at youtube.com/relplays. I've been doing a Hollow Knight Let's Play that's been fantastic, both in terms of the game quality and my enjoyment of it. I recently recorded an episode where I fought off the Watcher Knights, and I did that well before I was apparently supposed to. So that was fun. Let's just say it took about 15 attempts. You can also find me on Twitch. I do stream randomly, twitch.tv/relplays. I don't have a ton of time in my week, so I just try and fit in some streaming when I can. Right now, I'm mostly just streaming Monster Hunter. I might stream some Shantae F-Genie Hero at some point.
Hey.
You can also find out about that on Twitter at RelLet'sPlay and on Instagram, rel.plays.
Excellent. Thank you. Tom, you talking with Giovanni today. Where can the people find you at for more of that nonsense?
Well, I'm here on a Sunday doing this nonsense, and the rest of the week I'm beating myself up for the bad decisions and poor dice rolls. You can find me over at twitch.tv/TomLikeAFox, where I do whatever the fucking hell I want, really. Just a variety of games. So yeah, come see me over there if you want to see me be stupid more.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Rob, where can the people find you at?
Oh, you know, places. Hi, I'm Rob. You watched me play a game. You want to watch me play more games? You go on my Twitch channel. I play lots of games. Twitch.tv/bonus_stage_Rob. I do a variety of nonsense. I'm working on Breath of the Wild hard mode right now, master mode. It's going well. I died like 10 times today. It's going really well. I'm super pumped. I've been playing Donkey Kong 64. I've been playing Jack and Dexter 2. I've been playing Luigi's Mansion. I've been playing a whole bunch of shit. So come on down.
Thank you, Rob. And Prof, where can the people find you at?
Well, when I'm not frozen in ice and being fought over by aspects of divine power and whatnot, you can find me over at twitch.tv/prof_Saccharum, where I play a variety of different Nintendo and Pokemon titles. Currently playing through Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, as well as The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and Dragon Quest Builders. And if you want to follow my other socials as well, you can find me at prof_Saccharum on Twitter and on Instagram. And then you should be able to find me at YouTube as well with prof_Saccharum.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Hi, I'm Joel, otherwise known as Runaway Robot. I have been your DM for today and most of the days here on Runaway Robot. Other than doing Dungeons & Dragons content on the channel, we have been doing Divinity Original Sin 2 with Charlie Pryor, as well as been working through the new DLC for XCOM 2, the Legacy Pack. On Tuesday this week, and this is the big announcement for today, on Tuesday this week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be running a horror game known as, we'll be calling it Harvest. It is a one-shot where we will be featuring the Lady May, Carson Druitt, Frosted Fire, and Lady Babam, all on this channel at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. And it'll be my first horror game, so that's going to be interesting, and I'm super stoked about it. So that should be fun. And thank you guys again for joining us today. Chat, thank you for sticking it out all day today. We went a little bit over time, but it was a lot of fun, and we had a lot of stuff happen. So thank you again, and until next Sunday. Later.
Bye.
Bye.